And we are live. What is going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday. I think it's it is the last Wednesday of May. This year is going by way too quick. I hope everyone's doing well. Also, I think Phil said that he can hear some light music playing. Let me know if you can hear. There should be some light music playing in the background, but I've got AC on, which you probably can't hear because of the noise cancellation. And then X1 Carbon's going. Another printer's going over here, so I can't hear it. I can't hear anything. It just sounds like I'm in a, I don't know. It just fan sounds. That's all I hear. So let me know. I can hear the music. Cool. It should be low. The goal isn't to have it really loud, but just there should be something back there. Let's see who's all here today. We've got Biddy's in the house, PF, Thomas, Hobo Banana, Aaron. This week I'm finishing my K3 so I can start the LDO positron this weekend. Nice. Did you already receive the positron, or is it, what's today? It is Wednesday. So is it, yeah, did you receive it, or you have tracking showing that it's coming in the next day or two here? Let's see. I'll start building if wife doesn't kill me. What colors did you go with for your Milo? Let's see. Sound is cool. Just a light background music. Perfect. I have an engineering sample. Okay, cool. Music and sound is fine. Awesome, awesome. 1060. How's it going? All right, so we are going to continue on Milo. We started it last week, me and Alan over on Mandic Labs, and we did not get very far, which is to be expected. We don't usually get all that far, even when there is nobody for me to talk to and distract or be distracted by. However, I did do a couple of things to set us up for success today, so hopefully that's what will happen. But I took out everything. So the goal today is really to get through the y-axis, which is what I thought we were going to get through last week, and we hardly touched on. So I took out everything we're going to need. The only things I've prepped is, what did I prep? Heat inserts are done, which there wasn't very many of them. I installed these heat inserts, and I'll show like as we go through where the heat inserts are that I inserted. But all I've done really is heat inserts. So we've got some there. We've got some in here. These ones did require a fair bit of cleaning. This prints like this, and I don't know if you're supposed to use supports or not, but the built-in sort of bridging in the CAD, well, it did an okay job. But once I installed the heat inserts, it did push a bit of material into the path, and because the stepper motors are going to be bolting from this way, I didn't want to shove plastic into the threads of the heat inserts. So I basically took a really long M5 bolt and threaded it all the way through and then popped out the plastic. So cleared out those 4 holes and installed those inserts. And then I think the only other inserts that I had to do were these little guys, which were 2.5 millimeter, the smallest heat inserts I've ever done. So we've got really big inserts, which you can see here, and then these teeny tiny ones that are just the smallest. Hey, MakerMind, the LDO power brick for positron is way better than the option in your kit. Yeah, I ordered a black on black. Nice. Okay. Oops, 1 second. What did I miss? Music is about the same volume as me. Interesting. I bumped up my mic last stream by 5 decibels. Let me know. I mean, I can, if anybody else thinks that either music needs to go lower, I need to go louder, let me know. But I did just bump it up, so. Still waiting on my V0, hasn't moved in a week according to tracking. Who did you order the V0 from? Hey Sven. Waiting on my Trident to show up and printing parts for it, nice. Yeah, I ordered a power brick for the Journey Maker positron. It was one of the ones that was recommended. Let me see if I can find it really quick here. I'll post it in chat. There was quite a few power bricks that recommended. Oh, cool. It'll be here today, actually. So this is the one I ended up going with. There we go. So it's a 24 volt, 10 amp. With the coupon, it was approximately, I mean, close to $50 for it. It's got a standard 5.5 by 2.5 millimeter jack. I also ordered the female, like the connector portion of it that I'm gonna have to install into the case of the Journey Maker. But yeah, this is what I ended up going with. 240 watts, which is probably overkill. I think 200 watts would have been fine, but this, I liked what I saw about this power supply, so this is what we went with. I can hear you fine with just a hint of music. Okay, well, perfect. That's exactly what we're going for. Hey, Clownhammer. The balance seems fine to me. Okay, we'll leave it as is. I was on the wrong account and didn't realize it. Hey, Liz. Your total gain seems to be a bit lower than normal. It's not, though. I'm looking at it. It says 5 dB. Maybe I'm talking lower than normal, or no, that's all I've really got. Yeah, I don't know. I can boost it. Well, here, let me boost it 2 more. 1 second here. It could very well be a me thing. I slept in. I didn't really sleep in later. Jackson slept in later, so we slept in a little bit later because of it. And so maybe I'm not caffeinated properly yet. So yeah, I will bump this up from an extra 5 decibels to 7, which should be really subtle, but maybe it will give me that little bit of oomph that I'm missing this morning. Let's see. Maple Leaf, how's it going? Ahoy! How are you doing? All sounds okay. Okay, my sleep is all screwed up from last weekend. What was last weekend? Your birthday party? Hey Josh, hey, how's it going? Working and lurking. Gonna start wiring on the VZ tonight if I can stay awake. Nice. Working and lurking is absolutely my. That's how I usually watch streams. Is working and lurking. Okay, it was Cyborg Kit. Gotcha. Okay. So, what other things have I done? I took everything out. I ended up removing. So, I think it was on the other side, but when we left off, I had these linear rails already through the bearing blocks. I decided to remove them because based off the instructions and sort of having to maneuver this, it seemed like it was easier to remove them for now. So I do have these little dummy rails in place, which I just have to remind myself that these are looser than I'm used to them being. So if I tilt them, I have to be very careful, basically, is what I'm getting at. As far as all of the 32 screws that are in here for the linear blocks, these ones are all loose on this side, and on the other side, the only ones I've tightened down are, it's hard to kind of show this, but let's see. So out of the 4 screws that are going into the linear bearings on the other side, or linear rails on their side, 1 out of the 4 is not accessible once you put these blocks on. So I did fully tighten the one that I won't be able to access, but hopefully there'll still be enough give in the rail by just having one tightened that I can maneuver them a little bit as I'm getting them aligned correctly on the rails. So that's where we're at right now. Because once you have these on, like I initially had left them all loose, and because I was distracted, I didn't realize, hey, I actually can't access that screw ever again. So it doesn't make sense to me to not tighten at least the one that you're losing access to. So that's what I did. Mic sounds fine to me. It's possible that you changed the transmitter receiver gain. 5 decibels, a massive level change. Yeah, I don't think I've changed anything, so I don't fully know. I never, like, it's hard to accidentally adjust the DJI one because you have to go sliding down the thing to access the menu, and then like slide over twice to get to decibel. So like, I would really have to, I don't see how it's possible to basically, what I'm getting at. So, highly recommend REI's method on this build. What is that, Josh? That's how I do it. That's a perfectly acceptable to me. Okay, perfect. Also, thank you, Millennium Machines, for being here. We got 30p and me in the chat. Thank you for being here as well. Blue tape or dummy rails to prevent tears later. That's not a bad idea, actually. Blue taping the dummy rails is not an awful idea. I think because we're going to be putting them on very, very shortly, I'm going to risk it. But that is a really good fail-safe. Basically, install the rails and the carts together instead of ever taking them apart. So rails and carts together. Gotcha. Yes, this plate is CNC. I don't know how thick. Pretty beefy. I can tell you really quick. Pretty sure we checked it on last stream. Did he just zip tie the ends of the rail? Yeah, ends of the rails and to keep them in, because the stock, the little bumpers, I felt like, at least on mine, they didn't sit very tightly, so I wouldn't trust it. So this is 10 mil thick plate. No worries, I'm doing some renovations at the same time, so we'll be hopping between streaming that. Perfect. Perfect. That's good luck with the renovations. What are you doing, out of curiosity? All right, so let's jump over to the Y-axis assembly. I did look through this, so I am not going in blind, which I think is the way. I don't always have that option. So yeah, we've done this, I did the heat inserts. Ooh, another thing. So I've never used something like this before, and didn't fully understand what or how it was working, and now I fully understand how it's working. So on stream, I had already tightened both sides of this, which is a no-no. So I did, I want to show this for anyone that ends up watching along while they're building and gets to this, like, so that way there's clarity for that. But so one side is basically fully tightened. I didn't like it wasn't like 10 Steve Ugga-Duggas, but like tightened down. PF, thank you very much, man, for the 10 memberships. Let's do PF gets air horn, and we'll do it again for PF. Thank you, man. Let me see, what did, okay, cool, I saw that. So I tightened down one side. Basically it's the full tighten, just not completely torquing it down. And then on the other side, I tightened them all the way and then backed off, like, I don't know, I think it was 2 full rotations. So you can see there's plenty of gap, like they're loose. I mean, they're not loose because this nut doesn't have very much clearance with the heat inserts, like it kind of holds it in place, but it's not, at least it's not fastened down with fasteners, right? Like it's just sort of friction held in place based off of the inner portion of the nut being squeezed by the printed part. So, and this is probably obvious to a lot of people, but I'm still gonna explain it. So the whole purpose of this mechanism is to make it so that way you don't have backlash. So that way when your CNC is going from this direction to that direction, there's not any backlash, because that's going to affect tolerances and be problematic. And so by having this one tight, we're going to be feeding, which we're going to do this right now. So why don't I just show it? But let me explain it first that way. So this one's tight. We'll feed the lead screw through here. This is still in place, but it's going to have a little bit of wiggle room to then bite onto that lead screw, because we basically want this to self-align with this. And then we're going to be tightening these 2 screws down evenly until we get to a point where the lead screw can still turn by hand, but has some resistance. I mean, like it's got to have some resistance, and we don't want any backlash. So it'll be a combination of feeling and slowly tightening until we get it to a part where there's no slop, basically. Hopefully I explained that well. It allows both sides of the screw to be engaged at the same time to remove backlash. Yeah, it makes a ton of sense. I just haven't used exactly something like this, and so afterwards I was looking at it, I'm like, it makes a lot more sense now. But hopefully for anyone that wasn't clear on it, if there wasn't anybody, that cleared things up. Let's see. Lurking and listening while doing maintenance on my bamboo and other stuff. Nice. Good luck. Maintenance, I need to, I've wiped down the carbon rods plenty of times, but I need to grease the lead screws on the X1 carbon, the poor printer. Did you use all of your creator giveaway memberships? Oh my God, I did not. Oh, thank you. No, I did not. I don't know if I've used any this month. How do I do this? Memberships, super chat, buying membership gifting. I still have 10. Okay, we'll do 5 right now. Here's 5 memberships for everybody. Sick. Okay, thank you for reminding me. I'll do 5 more a little bit later on. I never do anything to my bamboos. I usually don't either. Oh no. It's rebelling on me. I've had like little to no issues, but for some reason, last night and this morning, these 2 ASA parts are not sticking down. I saved it. This is fresh off the bamboo. Nice turd. Okay. Currently swapping P1Ps for P1Ss. Nice. You said it's a short build, it's easier to deal with rails that way, in my opinion. I feel like I'm so far into it now mentally that I'm just gonna move forward, but I'll check that out, Josh. And if nothing else, when it comes down to, when it comes time for me to make like a final video on this, if I see it and I'm like, yeah, this looks like a great method, I'll mention it there for other people. Okay, so let's put a little bit of grease on the rails. So we'll start by tightening these, doing the anti-backlash. That's basically where we're at right now. Yeah, anti-backlash. I think that the grease that I ordered to the, what is it, M2? No, not M2. What's it called? The Mobile 2? Yeah, is showing up today. So I'm excited. I got the grease gun. Where did I put it is a great question, but I'm looking forward to trying that out. Okay, so I'm just gonna put a little bit of on the rail. I don't think I even need to really rub it in, but I'm also gonna grab napkins. That's the one thing I did a fair bit of prep. EP2. What did I say? M2. EP2. That's the one. Yeah. So the 1 second here. Let me zoom out. The grease gun showed up right away, but EP2, I should have just gone down probably and picked it up in person from a local store, but out of convenience I ordered it online, but they didn't have it. They didn't have it for Prime. I think it was like a week or something like that, but I figured I'm not really in a rush to get it. I've already done the majority of the rails, and for consistency across them, I might stick with the same grease on all of them, but I am looking forward to using it at least for the next build. So all right, so we will start with this. Now, the one thing I think that I probably should be doing is, even if I'm not fully tightening it, I feel like I should be pressing it up against this. So let me try. Maybe I can't fully. It looks like it's automatically, to engage with a thread, it seems like it wants to back out a hair. So I wonder if that's fine. Because as long as it's engaged with those brass heat inserts and I tighten it down, it should be okay. About to board a plane, so I'll have to catch the rest of the... Oh man, have a safe flight. Thanks for tuning in while you could. Yeah, so because of the threads on this, I don't think I was able to get it to engage fully seated. So it does, yeah, I let it go through loose, then tighten in very small increments. Okay, cool, yeah. That's sort of what I anticipated. Like there's, you need a small play together. Cool, perfect. Okay, so then I'm just going to, from what I remember seeing, basically half a turn back and forth roughly to keep the tension even between the two. So let's see if I can focus in here a little bit. So we'll do half turn. I don't even know if that was half turn, but small turns. Ooh. Yeah, too much. A little goes a long way. I cannot move it at all now. So let's do back off a hair, back off a hair. That might be it. I can move it by hand. It's definitely not easy to move by hand. There's certainly no back and forth play. I think I'm calling that good. Yeah, there's no side to side, I mean, movement at all. And I can still move it by hand. But if I tighten it just a quarter turn more, then I couldn't, it locked up. So it's probably what we're doing. That looks a tad tight. Okay. We'll do a tiny hair more then, so, or a tiny hair less. So we'll do just... Okay, it should be as loose as you can get it, but with 0 back and forth play. Okay, well then I'm still good then. I loosened it just a hair more now. So. Okay, yeah, that seems about right then based off the description. Okay, let me wipe off some of this excess grease. And then we will do the same thing. How's your how's Casa going, Josh? I've been meaning to ask. I know that you just, I think like 48 hours ago you were working on putting on printed parts, so I imagine it's still a work in progress. Okay, so same thing. This is the side I fully tightened down. So we'll start here. Maybe. There we go. Hey RS, happy Wednesday. I'm gonna try to do a little bit better today. If you have not, whoa, that went through, that one was, it's so funny. Like this one had further distance to go, but it went through with like no friction at all, fully seated. Okay. So this one, I take it, we're gonna have to go further. I don't feel any play on that. Lisa, hey, how's it going? Hello here and watching, just want to say hi. Hey, I hope you're doing well. I want one of these bad boys. Yeah, I'm super excited. Slow going, got the top and basement all done. Doing most of the rest tonight and tomorrow. Nice, okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it like that. That feels about the same as I had the other one. Just so you know, Dave is also on the team and can help if I'm away for. Okay, perfect. I figured as much. I'd seen. I think I've watched a handful of 30pMe's videos on it. So, but thank you for confirming and clarifying. Alan had some issues getting one of these to have the right backlash, so you're already ahead of him. Oh. I'll count my, usually it's the printer gods that, you know, when they shine their light down, I'm thankful, but today's the Milo, or the CNC gods. Yeah, I think that's good. I'm not going to go tighter than that. So I can still move it by hand. I didn't catch, I haven't seen his third stream, but I did catch part of the second stream. I came in pretty late, but I missed the part. By the time I came in, I think he'd already had the backlash stuff done. So yeah, that was, knock on wood, relatively simple. Okay, so now we are going to fasten Y-axis anti-backlash nuts. So I've got some Loctite, and it looks like the Y is going, so matching orientation. Ooh, scrape sound. So printed part facing that way, and then Y is this one. Does orientation matter as far as, I would think, oh yeah, it's gotta matter. It looks like since the heat inserts favor this side of the part and this is favoring that side, that's where it would go, but I don't know for sure. Is there a bottom photo? It feels like a safe assumption. I think I might just go with it. Gotta get back to work later. Hey, thanks for coming by, Josh. Hey, Alan. Yeah, it looks... Wait, yeah, that seems right. I think it's gotta probably go center, so we'll do that. it doesn't make sense to me that it would not be as on center as possible. So we're gonna stick with that. For anyone, I've got, basically they've got a wider side with the heat inserts closest to it, and I've got that going towards the side of this with the printed part. Okay, so let's get something I can squirt the, I have a plastic baggie somewhere. Yeah, I do. Okay, so we'll put some oops. The streams have kind of been getting a little bit earlier RS. Like originally they started at, I think when I lived in California, they started at noon Pacific Standard Time. And then I moved them to what would be 11 Pacific Standard Time. And now they're at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. They've been getting earlier. And I want to blame it on, I want to blame it on dad life. Normally I just was either in bed much later on my day off or, yeah, I don't know. But now like I'm up earlier and I'm in bed earlier, at least try to be kind of. Usually I'm out by like midnight versus before it was like 2 a.m. editing was pretty standard. So I think that's a lot of what it is maybe. Hey, Airdom, thank you very much for becoming a member. Cheers. Let's see, what do we got for you sounds? We got, what do you cheer? Straight up cheer. Okay. It's been life, hasn't it? Like part of moving most recently was Erin's schedule, wasn't it? Yeah, she like next Wednesday, for example, they have her scheduled to go in at her normal shifts are like starting at 4:30 p.m. or 5 p.m. and next week they have her going in at 3:30, which means she has to leave here by 3. And so if I started at our 1 o'clock time, that would only be a 2-hour stream. So yeah, it's been a combination of life. It's definitely not just Jackson. It's sort of just life's been trending earlier. You have become an adult. Thank you, Maurice. I posted a meme this morning in work Slack, and it said like, it was like a picture of a little boy, and it said like falling off of a roof as a kid, and the kid's just smiling with a thumbs up, and then the bottom photo says sneezing as an adult, and it's like just spine being grabbed, and it feels very accurate. RS, thank you very much for 21 months, man. It's insane. Squirrel. Closer to 2 years. Yes. That is awesome. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for all your content. Absolutely. Thank you for watching. It's been such a roller coaster. I still can't believe, I mean, I've been on YouTube for like 14 years, but 3D printing YouTube for a decade now. And it's just like, that's such a wild, it's such a wild thing to me. Like 10 years. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. Oh, PF can almost, or not PF, Phil can almost tell me I told you so. Okay, so that's in, great. Now we're going to be doing the other side. So we're gonna flip this around. And this one, we don't have to guess which direction it goes in because there's 2 holes on one side, 1 hole on the other side, and that matches with the heated inserts that I installed, 2 and 1. So there's only one orientation this can go. Oops. Wait till you have 2 and 1 is a 5 a.m. wake and the other is 8 p.m. go to sleep. Yeah, that sounds wild, Phil. I think about it often because we've definitely like we've talked and we want to have another kiddo. Wait, what am I doing? I need to flip this, don't I? Okay. But the just like sometimes when I'm tired with just Jack as far as like, man, my sleep, I'm like, man, imagine this times 2. And I have a couple friends with 3 kiddos. I'm just like, how? You superheroes, you know, superpower. Okay, there we go. So I slid these. If you were gonna tape these in place, my recommendation would be to tape them like favoring the outside. Otherwise, you're gonna be blocking holes as we're doing this part. Okay, so those are good. 3 of the same screws. Blaming it on. Can we even see? Yeah, a little bit. 7 here. I'm glad that they are all over. Wait, 7? 7 kids? I had no idea that you had 7. Yeah, you're. Hats off to you. Wow. Yeah, I had no idea. Growing up, I had a neighbor down the street that had something like 9 brothers and sisters, and the spread on age was pretty wide. Like, I think the oldest was 18 when the youngest was like 1 or 2 or something like that. And so they did have a pretty good system in play where like everybody did their part, you know, which made it less chaos. I mean, still chaos, but like they had a system. It was like organized chaos in a way. So I think with that many, like, you really have to, like, if the older kids have to carry their weight. 24, 21, 19, 18, 17, 14, 12. Yeah, that's, wow. Mine just turned 2 and I can't imagine having another one. I'm so tired. As is. How has 2s been? Jackson's been, we've been kind of joking about terrible 2s, but like the last week here, he's picked up screaming. And Erin seems to like, she seems to get him to scream. I mean, she's with him more than I am just because of work, but I've seen him screaming more towards her than me so far. But boy is it a high-pitched scream. Just gotta let that first one get old enough to help with all the other. Yeah, exactly. You're the oldest now. You're responsible. Man, I like these Fabrica drivers. I just wish they were grippy on the, like, they are grippy, but they're grippy metal, not grippy comfortable. And I don't know if I just have sensitive hands or what, but when I try to really tighten things down, they kind of tear into my hands a bit. Are we gonna finish this today? Yes, we will be milling titanium as our first go. No, we will not. Our goal is to finish Y-axis today, which is what I wanted to do with Alan, but I had super unrealistic expectations, which is the name of, it should be the name of the stream, Unrealistic Expectation Build Series 1. All right, so fasten that, we did that. No, I showed this earlier, but I already inserted these 4 and I had to clear out the paths using a screw. This says redesigned motor mount is shorter than the original design and allows the heat inserts to be installed from the opposite side of the motor. This makes the inserts much more resistant to being pulled out of the mount, especially when over torquing, the motor bolts. And over torquing is something I try not to do, but boy, is it easier said than done. And then also these are the cute little M2.5 heat inserts on the side for the limit switch. Okay, so this says to insert these bearing stacks, which are 2 of them, basically 2 standard 608 bearings and 2 flanged. From what I've seen, I'm not going to install this yet. I actually think this piece, yeah, this whole piece is going to be coming off. It's just to help us align the rails, so there's no need for installing those bearings yet, but basically just these guys. It's your standard, I used to use these for my skateboards. These are like standard the 608 or fidget spinners, so pick your take. And then there's just another bag that has 4 of them that have a flange. We'll take a closer look once we actually open them up shortly here, but Mill Hardock's wear plate. What is that, Keith? I don't know what that is. So far it's a roller coaster. She's either super happy or having a meltdown with food. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Jackson's similar. Usually it's, yeah, I guess it's usually food or sleep, which if I was gonna have a meltdown, those are probably the two things that would get me as well. No. 17 and a half years between my oldest and young. Wow. 6 kids born in 3. Wow. RS, you are busy too. We should have started IVF a decade sooner. I'm always exhausted. Are you, is that you? So Phil, you have 2. I know that's it. Like like the conversation. No. Wouldn't these fake rails better with a hole on both sides to add a cable in or a small round plug to keep them in place? That's not a bad idea at all. That's actually a pretty dang good idea. If these dummy rails had tiny holes so you can put little zip ties, so that way they're, yeah, that's a really good idea actually. Hey Nizo. Hey Iconic. Liz says Hardox is what tanks and construction equipment are made out of. Oh wow. It's the British brand name of what we call AR400 or AR500 in America. Okay. Yep, I had no idea. Thank you. I'm always learning. Never heard of that before. Okay, so fasten the Y-axis motor mount to the 470mm C-beam. I did confirm that this is the 470. So one thing I'm gonna do slightly different for now is I saw on Alan's stream that for these printed parts where they bolt onto the extrusions, he used Loctite. And one second here, I heard a loud machine outside. Is it? Oh, just Amazon Prime. He used Loctite on these. I'm not going to for now. And the reason I'm not going to for now is I have more concerns about a chemical reaction to these parts than I do the bolts slipping out. I talked to Steve briefly about it last night, and worst comes to worst, once this is done, because these should be accessible, if I notice anything loose, I can snug them back up again. But I've seen what Loctite can do to styrene, and I would rather take my chances with some vibrations on these, because it would be plastic on metal basically, versus having some of that Loctite make it into the channel and just start to slowly create micro cracks in the plastic. So that's what I'm gonna do as well. That's what I'm going to do, not as well. That is what I'm gonna do. So. Okay, so this is just going onto the edge here, and we're using, it looks like M512 button heads. And it looks like only 2 of them? Yeah, the top. Hey, BBs! We had 3 good MBs. Last one we are paying forward to help. Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool, Phil. 2 is enough. Youngest just graduated from high school. Yeah, you are you're on the tail end then of it. Well, this is 4. My youngest is 2 in 2 weeks. They keep me and my wife busy as all hell. Yeah, I'm sure. It's never I mean, we were like last night we were trying to go to bed at like midnight, and Jackson, I don't know if he had a nightmare or we had like some kind of weird windy weather yesterday, but like woke up in this like scream, like a different type of scream. Like he'll sometimes wake up, kind of cry, and then go back to sleep. But Aaron hopped up out of bed, ran to check on him, and then, you know, it's hard to fall asleep right after. You have to kind of wind down. So there's always something. Ooh, that's a good idea. So Iconic says, that's it. I like that idea a lot better, actually. Okay, so, hey Petty. Iconic says, Modbot, push a bit of Loctite into the extrusion, not directly on bolts going through the plastic. That should work. I like that idea. I really like that idea. So I'm actually just going to take a little piece of filament, some PLA here, and I'm going to dip it, just the edge of it, into some of this Loctite, just a tiny, tiny bit, and I'm just gonna feed it onto these. It's just a tiny bit, right? I'm not doing a lot, just a little bit. That way I don't have to worry about it passing through the printed part, but I have at least a little bit of Loctite. That's a fantastic, I really like that idea. That's an awesome one. Yeah, because then I kind of get the best of both worlds. Yeah, sweet. I like that. I like that a lot. And this was an M512. Let me get this other one in real quick here. I think I need to loosen. Oh, no, I'm putting it in the wrong... I'm putting it in the wrong hole. It's the bottom one. There we go. What did I miss? You can use Teflon tape in lieu of Loctite if you're worried. Okay, yeah. Teflon tape is just same as plumber's tape, right? That's what plumber's tape is. What lens is that on that camera on the tripod? This one right here? So the only lenses I've ever used are, why can't I? Sigma. So I use Sigma prime lenses. I love Sigma prime lenses. They're really good for Sony cams, and I think for the price, they're a fantastic like value for what you get. However, one of my coworkers at Lightburn bought this lens a while back for his Sony cam and told me like, dude, it's awesome. So I bought it and I fell in love, and I'm sad that I waited this long to buy a decent zoom lens. So this is what I use as my daily driver now, because with the prime lens, like because of all of the footage I'm getting for tutorials or of reviews and stuff, I'm constantly having to move things around. And so being able to at least zoom in without having to physically move the camera it actually sped up my workflow quite substantially. So this is a Tamron, and it's a Tamron 17 to 70 millimeter zoom lens with an f2.8 or f2.8. So it doesn't get quite as nice of that bokeh effect, but I don't often go. I'm usually even on the Sigmas right around 2.4, 2.8 f-stop. So hey, Sweetheart. Good eve. Jack is at the age where he will start dreaming. Maybe that's when he woke him up. Yeah, it's possible. It definitely sounded like it was something more than just the usual, you know, waking up and crying. So, but he went back to sleep after that and slept till I think like 8 a.m. So he, whatever it was, he, you know, seems like he got over it pretty quickly. Just cross-thread the screws. I have a Sigma 1630 and 54S and the, okay, sweet. So you have the full lineup too then. The 1630 and 55, right? That's what I have too. The Sigma Trio is what I call them. Hey TT, how you doing? I want to get the stick. How much is the 2470? I haven't purchased camera gear in the last year and a half because of house stuff. I've wanted to. I've really wanted to. I've like looked at a few things and I'm like, no, I just. All right, so we've done this. Fasten the 470 C-beam. For this one, we will not use any Loctite yet or anything at all because this is just a temporary placeholder. But let's go ahead and get this installed. These are also, I actually don't think we need 4 bolts either, since this is literally just to help us align the rails. We will just put it on with two bolts. Let me bring you guys a little bit further down too. Don't look under my desk. it's a rat's nest down there. Okay, yeah, $1,000. I think the Tamron, I want to say it was like a $700 lens, which is definitely more than the Sigma, but for what it is, it is a good value in my opinion. I've been very happy with it. I feel like I use a lot of manual focus. I'll pretty much only use autofocus if I'm trying to get something that's really small. I have a hard time with manual. And then when I'm recording myself, I always use manual, but that's what they, yeah, I always use manual. I'm sorry, I use auto. I use auto for something really small because I'll have to sort of like, it does a really good job of grabbing it. I'm trying to show something close up and then of myself. Other than that, I'm always using manual. But I will say that for being a non-Sony zoom lens, it does a pretty dang good job of grabbing and keeping focus. Okay, this is just sliding into here like so. And then we'll just tighten up the top two. And some M512s, I think that's what we're using again for this. Yep. Hey Jose, how's it going? I get Sigma lenses for my Canons, good quality and way cheaper than Canon. Yeah, I'm a big Sigma fan. I think it was, I don't know if it was just YouTube that I watched and discovered Sigma initially, or I had a buddy at Matter Hackers that was their video guy. You never saw him. I don't think he was in any of the videos, but he was the, why are we not, hold on, 1 second here. Ah, it's because I need to clear out these holes. Yeah, those are not pretty. So he was like the guy behind the camera at Matter Hackers for a lot of the videos, not in front of it. And I used to go when I first got like my first DSLR, maybe my second DSLR, that was my second one. I used to talk to him a lot. And so I think he might've been the one that recommended Sigma. And then I went home and watched a ton of videos and was blown away by like how many people seem to swear by them. So I ended up getting one, and then I got another one, and then I got the whole family of them. So I'm like, these are fantastic. So yeah, I think Sigma's great value for what you're getting. I wish I had a drill up here. See if I start with just clearing it with this driver, and then maybe I can shove the reamers in. It's basically just where it tried to bridge in the air. It didn't do a very good job because, well, it was trying to bridge in the air. So just need to clean up these a little bit. What camera am I using? So my primary, which is this one in front, is an FX30, which was by far my most expensive camera purchase ever. I got it right at launch. It just had some features about it that I loved. And so I said, I've never been a big camera guy. I've always kind of just used many gens before budget cam. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna splurge. And I've been very happy with the FX30. So that's my primary. And then this side cam that actually gets most of the footage for streams is a A6400, which was my primary camera for 3 years leading up to that. Hey GPs, how's it going? Hey Steve. Right now I just use 2 prime lenses, a Reconon 24 and a Canon 50 that oh nice, yeah. Okay, that worked. So basically just these, really tough to show. Like every time, I love printing with black as the primary because, well, I just like sort of that subtle, and then you have your accent color that pops it. But it's really difficult to show you guys on camera what I'm talking about. But this part printed like this, and in the slice, it sort of does a okay job of bridging, but the holes just weren't really clean. So now you can kind of see they actually look like they're cylindrical, while before they were all jagged. So you'll want to make sure you clean those up. So now hopefully I can slap this back on here, and when I go to bolt it on, it will hopefully go right through. Yep, we did it. Okay, I'm gonna switch sides. This is really awkward for me. Although you can't really see what I'm doing then if I go like this, huh? Well, I'm just gonna quickly do it. Sorry, I know this camera angle doesn't really show much other than my furry arms. Why are we not going in? Hey, Pedro, how's it going? How's your Trident? I know you finished it a while back, but like I assume at this point you've got some time with it. How's it been going? I think I just said, hey, Luke, but if I did not, I thought it. So I'm going to say it again. Hey, Luke, how's it going? We have an hour into the stream, making progress or lots of distractions. I think we're making progress. We've got our preload done. Why are we not going in? 1 second. So we've got our preload done, which is great. We've got our nuts for our Y and our X mounted, which is good. We've got our motor mount on, and now we are getting this on. So rails are gonna. I think we're doing pretty good, but that I don't. That is a subjective. Some might say no, we're not doing well, but I'm gonna say I'm happy with where we're at. How has my week been? Week's been good. Today's what, Wednesday? So yeah, Monday was a holiday here in the States. I spent the entire day working. I was just working on video projects, editing, and gathering footage and such. But it was nice. Aaron had the day off as well, so that was cool. And then Sunday night, we went over to my parents' house, and they made, we had them over the week before for barbecue, and so they had us over, and I'm convinced they were trying to outdo us because they had like this crazy yummy marinade chicken, and then they had like tri-tip steak, and then they had a bunch of roasted veggies and this lime rice and fancy beers, and my mom had made a lemon cake with strawberries. I'm like, man, this is amazing. So yeah, we went over there and ate food, and then we went on this nature walk for probably about an hour with Jackson, and then he was really tired because it was, I think we left their house at like 9, because one of the big differences here, and my mom loves it because it reminds her of Sweden, is Idaho is quite a bit further north than California, where we're from. So right now, I mean, the days are long. The sunset is probably not till 9:30, 9:40. So it's a lot nicer to do things at nighttime. But the winters, you know, on the flip side of it, the winter days, you just want to stay inside and kind of huddle up. Working very well, thanks. Already done a couple. Of course you did. That's awesome. Glad to hear it. What's been your favorite upgrade so far that you've done? Okay, so we've got our these on. So one more time, we did not install the bearings yet because this part is going to be coming off in a second. It's literally just an alignment. And we only did 2 out of these 4 screws because we don't really need strength. We just need stability for getting these rails on. So this says, fasten the MGN15 rails to the Y-axis into every second hole. And I thought that these are supposed to butt up against this. It's used as a stopper to install the rails here. So yeah, I think that these rails, it looks like there's a gap here, but I believe these are gonna go all the way up against it. Maybe if I just quickly look at this, we can see that to verify. So we're doing, what are we doing? We're doing Y, right? We're doing Y. That is not at all what I want to do. Oh, come on, kid. Okay, so we are not on that side. We are on the front side, which will be over here. And those look like they are going all the way up to and kissing that part. So yeah, cool. That's what I thought. Just wanted to make sure. Barbecue sounds amazing. Going to have to step up your game. I know. I did make some. I got a grill. I've had a few grills in my life. That's not true. I've had a grill, and then I had a grill that came with our rental that they were like, yeah, you can use it. The first grill I bought was 6 years ago on like the super special, cheapest grill I could find on this tiny little patio we had in our apartment complex that was like maybe, I don't know, 3 of these desks. Like it was very small. And so here I said, okay, I want to get a grill and I want to get something better that I can have for at least 10 plus years. So Aaron working at Costco, I got it's a Weber Genesis 2 3-burner, and it is awesome. It is so cool. And my dad went there because I wanted to find a sale, but everything I saw online said, yeah, Weber doesn't really go on sale. So I said, okay, well, I guess I'll just pay, you know, what the price is for it. And then my dad was at Costco last week and said, hey, you're not going to believe it, but that grill you just got's on sale for $100 off. So because Costco has, I don't know if Costco's global or just US and Canada thing, but they have they're known for absolutely fantastic customer service and warranty and all that stuff. So 2 weeks later, I came back in. I said, hey, you guys have this on sale, and no questions asked. They refunded $100. So that was really cool. So I told my dad, I said, we'll have to put it towards a, we'll have to put it towards a good steak or something like that. Okay, so for this, we are using these rails. Yeah, it's an awesome grill. I looked at a lot, like it's a lot more than any grill I ever would have considered, but the build quality is fantastic on it, and it'll last a decade. I bought a cover for it and everything, so I plan on, you know, taking good care of it. I figured, heck, I love spending time outside, and I really enjoy barbecuing, so for me, it was worth it. But there's also, like anything with even 3D printers, right? You have $200 printers and you have $3,000 printers. It's similar with grills. Like I looked at some where I'm like, oh, like once you get over, I would say the grill I got is like a mid-range grill. But if you get into the fancy stuff, some of those grills are just like, I'm like, that is a car. That is a car there. I'm considering the LDO Nighthawk. Nice. I will have a video on it very soon, actually. That this was this fail was actually the USB mount for it. So I'm working on, probably in 2 weeks time or so, I will have a video on installation and upgrade from the cable chains to it. The Brave ad triggers me more than it should. Change to the Annex. Ooh, I love the Annex panel clips. My dad's side of the family is from, oh, cool, Northern Idaho. How's it going, Chris? Okay, so we are going to be installing, it says in every other, and just like on Voron, it doesn't show you where it doesn't show you T-nuts going in. So at any time, if you see a bolt going into like a mystery extrusion slot, it's just about always going to be just a T-nut. So for this, if we're doing every other, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, it's like 5. Yeah, perfect. That's what it shows there. So we'll do 5 and 5. When you say grill, it is a gas barbecue. So my, I can talk about, I love talking about food. Everyone knows that here. Made pork belly, burnt ends, meat, candy. Yum. So yeah, my dad, in the house that they sold for the last, I don't know, 10 years of me going over there, always used charcoal and not propane. And I personally think charcoal tastes better. I think it's delicious. It tastes so good. But, but I am big on efficiency and ease of use. And the reality is, it's a process from having to, you know, get all the charcoals cooking, get them up to temperature, then the smoke coming off of them makes you smell like charcoal, and then you have to clean up all of the ash and soot from them. And I know that it sounds like, oh, big deal, but like, it really is, versus being able to just fire up the propane, let it preheat, come out there, grill, and shut it off, and you're good to go. So I do love charcoal. The reason I didn't consider charcoal was because of that. I just knew I wouldn't use it as much. I have these all facing the same direction. Is that gonna make it visible? It's not, so we're gonna roll with it. But yeah, I'm a big fan of the flavor that comes from charcoal. I think it's delicious. So, my Weber is 25 years old, still grilling. Yeah, I spent a lot of time in barbecue Reddit. My the last, I would say 12 months or so, my subreddits have just completely transitioned. It's like, because I've looked at a bunch of house stuff and grill stuff and all these things, it's like plumbing, concrete, electrical subreddits, shed editors. That's been one I've been frequenting lately. Just all the crazy shed builds and stuff. It's so, yeah. I've been lurking and just sort of looking at all the things inside of the grilling Reddits. Okay, so this is lined up. Let's get the other one lined up as well. So this is gonna give us our endpoint, it seems. That's how far we want it. So the next thing we want is centering. So I'm gonna start with loading up one of these completely with screws. So let's do that. And these are, oh no, no. For anyone, I put this on top of my Loctite. And you don't want Loctite all over everything when you're messing around with styrene. So, okay. Hopefully that is gonna be not a problem. Oh man, I messed up. Hill would be proud. Hank Hill. Damn it, Bobby. That was not a great one. I got a Weber. Thing weighs a ton. Yeah, they are built like tanks. Charcoal's tastier, propane is more good. I use charcoal for home grill, but have a small propane one for outings and travel. Nice. Yeah, my parents, we did have, like, we used to camp a lot as a kid, and we had just teeny tiny little, I think they were Coleman, you know, propane tanks. That way we could grill at the campsites. It's been a lot of years since that. They make charcoal pellets for pellet smokers. Might try them in my smoker. I know they have the Pit Boss is like Pit Boss, and there's a company that starts with a T. I see a lot of people here use, which is also Tamron? Tamron? No, that's, I was just talking about, that's the lens. Lamb on charcoal for my 60. That sounds good. Cut out the middleman and put a couple of briquettes on the side of the gas grill and close the lid. I've been looking at those Blackstone flat tops. Oh, nice. For 3 months of nice weather. I can't just, yeah, no, totally. I only use charcoal, but the family summer house is far out and bringing propane there sucks. The grill we have there is older than me. Yeah, it's definitely not convenient if you don't have, like, I mean, every gas station here has it. Concrete subreddit has some cool stuff in it. I love it. I like learning. I always have just been a big fan of sponging up as much knowledge on things as possible. And so I've learned so many things that probably will never, like, I'll probably never need them in my life, but could make for some impressive conversation if I ever get trapped at like a concrete convention, or you know, if I go on like Jeopardy and there's some weird questions. I don't know. A lot of it for me has been sort of getting ideas, since we have our own, like, a house now, like, you know, ideas of things that I might want to do, or I've never worked with concrete before other than the fence posts I installed recently, and so I just find it fascinating. There's a lot of stuff I didn't fully understand regarding like sort of the rebar and creating your not your mold, but your forms, putting your form, like it's find it interesting. Did the volume go down for anyone? Could be my head position because it's on my collar. If I lean or look a certain direction, it could. Traeger, that's it. Traeger. Yep. That is it. Traeger is the one I see a lot. Okay, so these are all in, but they're loose. And then I'm just going to use these printed, holy cow. Oh, there we go. These printed brackets. I've got, 2 should be plenty, but we'll go with 3. Because these have really tight fit, which is, I'm a big fan of, especially for this. I've printed out quite a few for other builds where they're like not real snug. Yeah, this is nice. Okay, cool. Also, I have a question. So, generally speaking, when we've tightened linear rails, the best method, as far as I'm aware, has been to start in the center and then work your way outward. You don't want to tighten this and then tighten this, because there could be flex or there could be warp in the rail. If you tighten this, and then you tighten this, you're gonna have, it's bad. Like, even you've got warp and then you basically are forcing it where it's got nowhere to go. But the question I have is, if we've done always center outward, why is it, or is it not equally fine to go from one end all the way to the other? Because I would think that if you start here and you've got warp, and then you're tightening this, it's going to basically squeeze all that warp out. So I'm trying to understand why center out is better than from one side to the other. I fully understand why, again, not going outside in, because you're basically trapping it and giving it nowhere to flatten out. But I'm just curious. I'd love to hear if anyone has any information or even theory on it. For this one, we will go, it could creep side to side. But how center out or one end to the other should be the same. Yeah, that's my thing. I just don't see, Delmar, like how it's different. Easier to keep it straight. I mean, I could see maybe, okay, so hear me out. Let's say it's bent, like let's say it's like U-shaped, right? Or N-shaped. I could see then how going from here would sort of flatten it, and then you have a minimum amount of it here and a minimum amount of it here that you're then tightening out, versus if you go from here and you have that N shape, I can kind of maybe see it wanting to fight it more. So maybe that's it. I just sort of just from some tight point, and yeah, I can see that. So that I can potentially see. I was thinking about it more than I probably should have yesterday, and was like, I'm gonna ask about it and just see if anyone's got any additional thoughts. Due to the brush fire risk, it's getting hard to have charcoal. Oh, interesting. Wood fire outdoor cooking in my part of Australia. Local parks now have electric barbecue. Oh, wow. Yeah, I know here, knock on wood, or thankfully, we just don't have or haven't had as many fire issues, but coming from California, I mean, fires are very much the concern. Think cylinder head on a car. Side to side only works in the southern hemisphere due to magnetic. You spiral from the center. As someone that's not a car guy, Delmar, it doesn't help a lot, but I appreciate it. All right, we'll stick with our center out. I just wanted to bring it up because I was like, there's got to be something. There's got to be something. I guess if there's a bow, then doing it from the center, you fix the bow at the beginning. Yeah. It's fun having some of these discussions. Hi. Yeah. Hi, bud. What's he saying? Oh, yeah? We got Jackson visiting. Hi, buddy. He's been saying mama, mama, mama the last few days. Careful so you're not on cam. What? Careful so you're not on cam. Yeah. You want me to grab him? I want to see it. Okay. Hi, bud. All right, I'll show him real quick. He looks too cute. One sec. Rubbing his eye. Oh. I like your animal pajamas, bud. They're cute. All right, we were just talking about him. I said that he's the reason why our streams have moved up, because he forces us to go to sleep a little bit earlier because, well, when he rises, we all rise. Where is he? Here we go. There he is. Look at Daddy's building, huh? He say, "That's you. That is you. Huh? That's you up there, dude. Huh? Look at you with your stylish pajamas, huh?" Yeah, this is gonna be a mill, a linear rail. It's a big old stepper motor, huh? Huh? Can you say LDO? LDO. Yeah. Guys, you gonna help me with the screwdriver? Hmm? I got it. I got it. Huh? This kid is getting too tall and too big. Yeah, he's now officially half the size of Aaron, which is wild. Yeah, that is you. What a handsome baby. Huh? Yeah, Aaron's not exactly Yao Ming. Yeah. Huh, what is that? Oh, that's Polymaker. That's their Halloween filament. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? Yeah. That's my microphone. Yeah, that's my microphone. Yeah. Yeah, it's my mic, bud. All right, I gotta get back to it, man. I'm making decent progress today, believe it or not. Yeah, that is you. That is you. Yeah, kiddo's getting big. We have.
Hi, Jose.
Aaron says hi, Jose. I don't know if you can hear with the noise cancellation. When's our next checkup with this big guy?
The 7th.
Okay, yeah, he goes in on the 7th. We haven't gotten him weight or height checked since his 1 year, which was March. So yeah, it's his year and a half. No, it's his. No, I'm sorry.
15 months.
Yeah, math. Huh. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna get back to it, buddy. You say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Yeah, bye-bye. Say mwah. Mwah. All right, buddy. Thank you for visiting. Wish me luck. I will need it, I'm sure.
Way over here.
Yeah. Love you, buddy. All right. Thank you for my visit. Oh, well, thank you. This coffee's really good, even though I keep forgetting I have it. So, and it's just like slowly crying onto my table. That's all right. I have one. It's over there. Okay. All right. He's in a really good mood. I think he just maybe just woke up from his morning nap. His whole nap schedule has completely changed in the last few weeks here too, which has been tough to get used to. Okay, so I think I tightened down all of these. Oh my gosh. Did I Loctite? Okay. Anybody that's been watching, did I put Loctite? I know I poured Loctite there, but did I put Loctite on the screws before I dropped them in? I want to say yes, but I have no recollection of whether I did or did not. So please tell me I put Loctite. If not, I'll take them off, but I did not. Maurice says no. No. Fantastic. Fantastic. All right, well, it's 5 screws, so it's not the end of the world, but yeah, I got super excited. I think what happened was I got too excited about how well these little rail holders were holding the rail in place, and I just completely, everything else went out the window. So yeah, so I'm not doing Loctite very much of it. I guess if I can access the threads, but on the plastic parts, not messing with that really. But for metal on metal, because this is a mill, I definitely want to use Loctite. So pull one end out. Pull one end out. What? What do you mean, Delmar? What crazy crap? What's up, Tom Mama? We're building Milo. I don't know why that was. I wasn't expecting that. Where's? Oh man, my KB3D little. There we go. The magnet that I usually use is in the garage. I think I was using it. I was trying to fish a screw out of somewhere. There we go. Okay. Try this again. Yeah, I put it in the holes in the end. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I know I put it on the holes in the end. I remember I poured additional Loctite knowing I was going to be installing them here, but I got derailed. I derailed. All right, that's enough jokes. Just pour the bottle of Loctite over the rails. It'll be perfect. You heard it here as official tip from Millennium Machines. And on the bag, yes, I did pour it on the bag of T-nuts. Thank you. It's not so bad, only 5. So I'm gonna tighten this one down. Okay, so these are all loose. Okay, and we will go from center to out, back and forth. Okay, so we've got that, and then I'm going to, let's see, what does it say? Spring T-nuts are used here to mount the rails, aligning the rails. Use the MGN 15 guides to position the rail in the center of the extrusion to fasten the screw. The detail running along the edge of the extrusion to adjust it into alignment with the extrusion. With the first rail aligned, fit the second rail onto the detail to clock it to the first rail. Make sure to check horizontal alignment. How? Okay, I'm gonna fully out myself here. I don't know how to use one of those tools. So it's basically telling us to use, holy cow. Ugh. Wow, those really stick hard. I don't actually know how to use one of these. As far as sliding goes, so does this have to go, it's my assumption this probably has to go onto a bearing block, right? So if I don't have a bearing block, how will I use this right now? And the other question I have is, did Alan use this or did he just, the knob activates a magnet? Whoa, whoa. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so there's one side of it that's magnetic, it appears. How do you center it? Can this side be used instead or no? Probably not. Yes, that side can be used. But I still don't know how that would allow me to slide it cleanly. Because it has left and right play. Oh, this is freaking cool. Run it up and down the rail. It needs a bearing. Okay, it does need a bearing block. Okay. So should I mean, almost all of our bearing blocks are already attached. So what I can do is steal a Z-axis bearing block. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's steal a Z. Okay. We'll take a minute for this, at least for now. Yeah, that is really cool. That is very, very cool. So we will take this, and I think I have got at least one more. Yep. All right, so we're gonna pop off this block, like so. Then we will slide it onto this block. Boom. Okay. Very cool. Don't mix rails and carriages. They preload. Oh, okay. Okay. Taking it off. Taking it off. Okay, so what is the solution then? To undo one of the carriages, or don't use this and just go with the printed jig? I took it off. Is it fine to use? I can put it right back on. Millennium, is it fine to use as long as I put it right back on after? Do you remember which carriage came from which rail? That is a great question. So this has 2 marks on it. So that's really going to depend on a few things. So I know that I set this up, one second here. So this is our Y. Okay. So that means that these on the bottom here so the answer is yes, but I need a second. I did mark, oh shit, one second here, y'all. So I marked on the carriages. I don't know how you can see that. You can't really see it at all, can you? No. There's a mark here, 1 dash. So this goes on the rail that also only has 1 dash, which is on this side. So the answer is yes, to an extent. it should be fine because the blocks on the Y of this are the blocks that are intended for the Y. I took them off the Y rails and put them on the Y. And I used Sharpie. The issue is the grease has washed off a lot of it, but I can see that this rail is clearly one that has 2 lines on it. I don't know how well, but clearly, to me it's clearly. Come on. Why are we not focusing? Can you see it? There's 2 little Sharpie marks down there that I made to match the rail or the bearing blocks. So anyways. So long as you can get the XY plate with all their carriages on, I can show you a quick trick that does not require an indicator. Okay, sweet. Okay, so here's my plan. And I'm pretty sure I got this from Scott on Edge of 3D. So I'm going to assume that this is okay for now, or fine for now. The game plan is to attach one of these on and leave the rest of this loose so that way it can pivot. Like I'll put the bolts in, but I'll tighten down just the one. And then basically to slide it on from, this is what's coming off, right? No, this is what's coming off. So I guess whatever side is going to be removed, that's the side I'll be sliding it on from. And then leave it pivoting so that way I can go back and forth a few times and have them align with each other. That's my thought. So let me check something here. So it looks like this is how it's going to be going on when it does go on. And this is the part that's going to be coming off. So I will be tightening this side and leaving this loose so that way it can pivot. And Phil is asking about the notches. So right now I've got it where so it looks like I screwed up in that my notches are facing inward. And I want the one with 2 notches on this side. Like this. Yep, 2 on the inside here. And then on this one, I want 1 facing inward. So I'm going to swap it. This is probably being potentially overkill and being a little bit anal, but because I can see the notches, Y-bit alignment has helped you learn CNC. Yeah, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to loosen this one more time. I'm going to flip this around, retighten it down, and then I think we're good. Okay? Yeah, I give both Scott and Delmar credit. Delmar pinged me last week saying, hey, Scott has some cool tips in his video, basically. And so I watched a bit of it and was like, that is really handy. So I got to give credit to Scott on that. I feel like I've used similar on a 3D printer build before, possibly, but I don't think that I would have just done that on this build had I not seen Scott just do it. So thank you, Scott and Delmar. And Loctite on my hands. So that's what we'll do. Yeah, absolutely. It's tricky. I mean, I made pretty big Sharpie marks thinking like, oh, this is probably overkill, and I can hardly see any of them now. So it's definitely, it's tricky to not have them wash off from the grease. Somebody spent too much time with Steve. Never spend too much time with Steve. There's Nero 3D2, just live stream versus dedicated build video by Scott. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, a lot easier for me to digest. I like live streams. Like, I watch a lot of Steve's live streams. I just usually have them on as I'm multitasking. Like, it's a great thing to have on while I'm doing other things. It actually kind of helps me keep focus versus, like, it tames the squirrel a little bit. But, I guess it depends, man. I've referenced plenty of live streams for questions, or like I'll scrub through them and try to grab if there's like tidbits of info I'm looking for. Where did I put there we go. Okay. those are in. That's tight. Nice. Going from the center again. Third time is the charm. That's what they say. So we're just making sure that we we stick to that. So someone remind me then, when we get to the X rails, I can only see X rails are going to be a coin flip. I can see marks clearly on the outside for for one dash. I don't see any marks for the second dash. It'll be a coin flip as to whether I get that exactly right, but I'm doing my best. That's all I can do. I use Steven Pooch's Trident build streams up on, yeah, yep. I'm just quickly going through. They're all kind of tight. I'm just making sure that I ain't messing up. Oh, there was the last one a little bit more. Okay, so we've got that. That's backed up all the way. Things we need to remember is Loctite. Ugh. Brr. Holy cow, all right. So I'm just going to shove this like that. Doesn't really matter that that's centered because we're going to be pivoting all this anyway, but I am going to, yeah. So I'm just going to put, well, I'm going to put all the screws in, but I'm only going to snug up the very end one. So 5 more bolts, or 5 more screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Kind of funny in this case, though, I am tightening at the end and not the center. Okay, so I'm only snugging up that one. The rest of these are just going in loosely. Talking of Tridents, are you getting Cyborg's new all-wheel drive Trident they just released? So they didn't tell me that they were releasing that. Like, they didn't give me details. They had told me, man, it was probably a couple months ago now, that they were working on an upgraded Trident, is what they described it as, and that they thought it'd be like a fun for me to build one. I said, cool, that sounds great. You know, let me know when it gets closer. So I did talk to Emma over at Cyborg. It does sound like the plan is to get me one of their modded Tridents to build, but it'll likely be a couple of months until that happens. I think that's the vibe I'm getting, which is great because there's so much stuff that we're building and working on that's probably a realistic time frame of when I'd actually be able to do something with it, not just have it collecting dust, which I hate doing. So the answer is I think so. Okay, so these are all having Loctite. I'm backing off you all the way, so you're loose, you're loose, you are loose, you are loose, and this one is snug. So now we're gonna pop these off. I ordered the Cyborg. Nice. It's gonna be sick. It is going to be rad. I think my game plan when it ends up getting built is to build it as is. Maybe, but I plan on doing one of the, why can't I think of what they're called? Armchair engineering, tool heads. Somebody in chat will say it. Okay, so we are now removing this side. My Trident is on the map. Are you getting it today, Tor? No, not Zol, not Zol, the other one. That was a good guess, though. Not Zol. Archetype, that is it. Yep. Yeah, I was supposed to be doing Archetype for the other Trident Cyborg, but I ended up going with a different tool head. But I do want to play around with Archetype. Oh, sick. Are you ready to rock and roll then, Tor, as far as like printed parts and I don't know, just clearing your schedule? Is that the rest of your day? I guess I didn't need to fully. Okay, so perfect. So as you can see, maybe not. Oh, come on. Why are we focused on? It's focused on this. Really? All right. Well, let's manual focus. There we go. So, as you can hopefully see now, this has got play. That's what we want. This guy, fully centered on the extrusion based off our printed jigs, locked in. This guy, left to right, it can't move because we've tightened the far end, but this side right here, we got movement, which is what we want because we are going to attempt to slide. Hold on, a big truck just pulled up out front. Furniture. Nope, we did not get a new mattress. So yes, we're gonna attempt to slide this on now. Hey, Steve's here. Hi, Steve. Everyone say hi, Steve. There's no Zol, only Zool. Isn't that Ghostbusters? Okay, cyborg kits are starting to look better nowadays, on paper at least. They've been really good about taking feedback, and I've mentioned that from the beginning. And is that a reason to buy from someone because they take good feedback? No, but I tell you what, it definitely stands out to me because yes, a lot of what I'm doing is giving you guys feedback on what my experience is like, so that way hopefully you can decide whether this thing or whatever I'm covering is right or wrong for you. But at the same time, like I sort of expect manufacturers to take that stuff into consideration as well. And a lot don't, and it sucks, and it really bums me out, and makes me feel like, why am I don't know. So the game plan is we're sliding this on this way. I'm going to leave these inserts in hopes that I can just have a smooth transition onto this rail. There will be puckering, but I'm hoping everything goes smoothly. So moment of silence for focus. That is what I will probably need here. So here we go. I am just going to align everything, and I'm going to okay. We are not going on. Okay. Okay. Oh man, dude, I really. Okay, we're halfway. Okay, I'm gonna drop these off. Moving on to our second blocks. Okay, we have hit a snag. Why? Why are we snagging? Oh, we're moving. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. We did it. We did it. We are on. Yes. All right, we're getting, I don't care, we're getting some all-around cheers and no scrolls. Okay. They even took my feedback and sent me out, replaced some parts for my V0 when I had issues. Yeah, they've been, honestly, like, I've had a handful of people reach out to me that have purchased from them after watching a stream or a video I did on it. And any snag that I've seen, they've been really, really, really good with. Also, I mean, before releasing, I'm not gonna get any details on it. They've been really receptive to feedback, not just from me, but across the board. I also wish they weren't using a cartographer. I understand why they are, price, but I wish that at the very least, if they weren't going to use a beacon, they were using Eddie. I feel a lot more fuzzy about Eddie than the cartographer, but I don't know. I guess it is what it is. It can be swapped for someone that wants to swap it. Hey, Exhale, have you tried leveling your bed? Oh, zombie. It's a shame the BitcherTech is still leaving a lot of beta testing early adopters. The whole Linux image MAC address forcing users. and the eddy branch have been painful. I haven't seen any issues with eddy, but I haven't really looked, to be honest with you. Okay, so we are on. We definitely don't want to, we definitely don't, what am I saying right now? We don't want our, we don't want our rails, our bearings to slide off the rail. That's what I'm saying. So motion feels pretty dang good. Considering these are 4 blocks, I think the next step is probably to tighten down these. And I'm wondering, I mean, we're not going center out. And since we're not going center out because I'd already loosened this, you know what? No. Here's what we're gonna do. Yeah, no. I think what we'll do is, since we tighten this one, we're just gonna go from this direction that way. At least we're following that. We might not be going center out on the second rail, but we'll go from one direction to the other. So I'm just going to go this way, snug this down, if I can find my driver. So we'll snug the one that's popping up, like so. Keep it moving, snug the next one down. Then I'll have to bring it back a little bit because I can't reach this one. Can you see this loose rails move as you move the carriage? Oh, you mean the loose rails? That's, yeah, you're talking about the bearing blocks, aren't you? This feels like there's some resistance, but I still, my issue is this, is I've never used rails this big, and we just greased these, so the grease hasn't worn in. I don't know how much pull, it's supposed to have. I think this is right. Like it feels like this is probably fine. So we'll snug this down. I'm assuming these carriages are preloaded. Yeah, I would think that they have to be preloaded as well. So that's probably a factor. That was weird. Felt like I was feeling a little bit. That looks pretty tight. Do you loosen the bearing blocks a bit to align them with the rails? So right now, all of the bearings, right now all 4 bearing blocks are loose other than one corner on each of them. Yeah, so right now I need to tighten them. That's gonna be my next thing. Once I tighten this, the game plan is to tighten all the bearing blocks. But right now, all bearing blocks are loose, minus the one corner that I won't be able to access, that like I couldn't access after doing this. I think I'm just gonna hope that it's fine and move forward with it. I really don't know what else to. Let's see what happens. Okay, let me tighten these down. And then let's see what happens when I tighten down the carriages. You can also use the rail alignment thing to prevent this rail from slipping too far on their own. Gotcha. You mean from coming off? Yeah, it's hard to know whether this is normal or not. Do you loosen the bearing blocks a bit? Okay, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, so bearing blocks are all loose. We're gonna tighten them now though, so I'm curious to see how the motion shifts in a second here. I don't feel binding. Okay, so feels about the same. Yeah, I think it's stiffened up a little bit, but I don't feel any binding. I'm assuming it's, 1 second here. Let me. I'm assuming it's probably fine. I don't see, the way we did the rail in the second one, I don't feel like there's much we could have done differently. And I also don't know, because of the preload, how much of it's just the preload that's playing into it. I did Loctite those. Obviously it's nice once it's got a heavy bed on it. Yeah. Yeah, definitely when I push, so compared to nothing on it, it's like, it doesn't want to move really at all. Pushing down on it, it definitely feels nicer. So those are all Loctited. Yeah, I added Loctite to those last week. So those ones are definitely fine. So I just need to snug these down. Yeah, it's probably fine. It's just, you know, again, going from building 3D printers typically to this, it's a different animal completely. So some of it's definitely foreign to me. Same but different. It's still the same. Okay, so this is on. Awesome sauce. So what is next? In 15 minutes, I will open up also the Polymaker filament drawing. I hope those linear blocks are aligned. They damn well should be. We had them all loose, and then we tightened down this rail, and then we only tightened one screw on this rail, and then slid this back and forth to align the rails to each other, and then we tightened up all the bearings diagonally. So they should be. But you and me both. You and me both. Okay, so let's go desktop here. We did that. 1 second here, I'm gonna check. I have a meeting after this, so I want to make sure there's no cancellation. Yeah, nope. Okay, so now we actually want to put this on. So we're gonna do the same thing. Let's see. You didn't use the clock used for alignment? No. Millennium Machines, who's here in chat, said if you do it the method that I just mentioned, that it's not necessary. And it seemed riskier. Basically what they were saying was that because each bearing block is paired with a specific rail, and all the bearing blocks are already pre-attached. I was stealing one from Z, but they were saying that it might not be aligned the exact same way. So using a different bearing block could cause its own issues. So it didn't seem like that was really much, it didn't seem like that was far superior based off of what I was seeing. So we will see. Okay. So these are just going bearing. Holy crap. Hopefully. Oh my God. This is going to be fun. Tolerances have been tight. So getting these bearings into these pockets is going to be interesting, I think. No, not too bad. As long as you kind of feed them in evenly. I need something though to push them down. Maybe back of this. Okay, maybe I'm lying. Think. Press fit is not an issue. Press fit bearings. I would put on the first and use a clock on the extrusion only. Wait, I would put one on first and use the clock now. Perfectly square. 15 socket. Let me see if I put this thing flat against the quartz. That's right, I do have the giant socket that I've used in the past. I don't have a 15 socket, but let me see if I push on the center. Oh, shit. Oh my God. I almost feel like I need to use like a rubber mallet and try to tap them in. Don't use a BFH. Please press on the outside. Okay. I didn't damage them, and I do have a bunch of these in case I needed, in case I needed to get more. But oh, that's probably not a bad idea. Let me run down and see if I can find a socket that would go over right around the outside rim of these, and then I can use the second bearing as a press fit by hand. Oh, that I could, yep, that's probably not a bad idea either. Let's try that. If I turn this around and press it down. Yeah, that kind of worked. Long screw, big washers. I don't know. Let's see, the last one just goes on. This actually is working fine-ish. Let me see. Yeah, I agree. Pressing on the inside was not the move, so thank you for stopping me. Yeah, this might work actually. Let's see if I turn this guy around like this. That worked. That was the play. That was, thank you, Exhale. I also think that the 15 socket would have worked too, but yeah, if just using itself. Sweet. Thank you. Teamwork. I need a teamwork sound effect. Hey, Nuno. Should it fit? Yeah, it should be flush. Yep, because of the flange on the top, and it is. Oh yeah, that's right. I turned off the autofocus. It's flush. It's beautiful. So we'll do the same thing on the other side. Hey, Dom. I'm from the design team, so it's cheating. Oh, it lied to me. Lied to me. Yeah, no, that's a great. So this side looks like it's same thing roughly. So we'll try to just get it in here. I'll get it started on the quartz. That did not work.
Okay, this side's tougher. Why is this side tougher? Why is this side tougher? I'm gonna take a light. Let me find I think I have a file somewhere. It looks like the section, I don't know how well you can see this, where it goes from this flange to straight, there's a lip on there, and that feels like that's where it's getting caught up on because it's already so tight. So I'm gonna take a round file and just see if I can file that a little bit. Socket on the outer rim, I think, is also a good option. All sockets are down in the garage though in a toolbox, so it's a little less accessible. Yeah, let me see. I'm gonna have this facing downwards so that way I'm not getting any of the plastic shavings into the I could try a deburring tool. My concern is whether I'll be able to... no, that might work well. Let me see. It's a little bit further in there. Oh, no, I'm deburring the outside, which is not where I want to deburr. It's a little tricky to get... It's a little tricky to get it in there. I like the idea of the deburring tool. I just don't know if I can quite get it where I need it to be. Let me see. I've got another one. Are these the exact same? Yeah, these are identical, the tips on them. So, yeah, from the angle it wants to, the outside rim wants to catch first. Before I go too far with this, let me try one more time just to see. I don't know how much it actually needed to be able to pop in. So let's see now that we've moved a little bit. Yep, that popped in. So it just needed a little bit less. A little bit removal. Let's see if we can do the same. Yep. I'm grunting for sound. It's not that, I'm not, it's not that difficult. Like, it is difficult, but the grunting is for... Anyways, added sound effects. I didn't even realize till the second one I was grunting. I gotta make sure I get these perfectly aligned. It looks like it's aligned. Okay, we are in. Woo! We are in. Perfect. I still haven't gotten the bench vise. I need to order it. XR Bunker donated a few streams ago to get a proper bench vise, and I need to order a proper bench vise. I don't own one right now, so it is not an option. That will not go up here though. That will be down in the garage on one of the probably workbench carts. Sweet. Those are in. We've already gone beyond this, beyond this. We did that, we did that. So now we're doing this. And we are going to do the same thing. I don't want to pass Loctite through the printed parts, so I'm going to just take a tiny strand let's see. What's the difference? What is an mini arbor press? I don't actually know what that tool is. Let's see. Mini arbor press. Cute. I've never seen one of these before. Yeah, that totally looks like it would work. One of these little guys. Yeah, this little one right here. It'd probably work totally. Half a ton, I would say so. Okay, so let's do this last little 4 screws and then I'll open up the giveaway. So all I'm doing is I'm taking a little bit of Loctite, putting it on the end of a broken piece of filament, and I'm feeding it into these holes. I'm gonna wipe the outside too because there's a little bit dripping out. So this way we can get some Loctite into our threads. and we don't have to worry about it dripping into our styrene. I've had just, I can still pick, it's been like 2.5 years, I think now. I can still picture it like yesterday, my V0 parts just forming micro cracks and a tear forming in my eye. I can't relive that. So I do not like going through the printed parts. An press is like if a drill press and a vise had a baby. Yeah, that is a fantastic description of what I'm seeing here. Okay, sweetness. So we are now ready to yep. These guys can come off since this should hold everything in place. Beautiful. And then we are using these guys, which are what? They're M512s, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Hey, Red Sky. Morning all. Hope the day is going awesome. It's been a really good day. I thank you very much. I hope your day is going awesome. Okay, so let's loosely get these in, just to make sure we got everything aligned. Oops. At least these are bigger bolts. Okay, that feels like we've engaged. You need to pre-apply your Loctite to the screws and let it cure. Yeah, that's not a bad idea either. But that requires... I was proud of myself for pre-planning to the point that I was up at like 11 last night being like, cool, like we're going to kick some butt on tomorrow's stream. What do I need to prepare? But prepping Loctite on the screws is... I don't think I've reached that level of prepared yet. Okay, so this is still a little bit tough to get through. I did try to clear out these printed parts. There's definitely still some. So we're gonna have some thread lock just from the plastic, a little bit of plastic that I'm putting into the threads. So that's also not straight. We do not wanna cross thread. There we go. Nope, that's not right. What's going on here? It's always the simpler things that cause me stumped. So let's see if I can it feels like we've got enough clearance to make this work. So why? All right, bear with me. I'm gonna just focus on lining this up. Well, I might be taking this part off. I think versus fighting this, I should just get it to the point where I can get all these screws through it and then push it onto the extrusion. So the bottom two, for whatever reasoning, I don't want to pull them all the way out because then I'll be feeding Loctite through. There we go. Which I already did a little bit, but okay, so let's see if I can ream these holes out really quickly. Also, let's open up the giveaway too for anyone that's here. Okay, Polymaker giveaway is officially posted in chat. I will pin it, and in approximately half an hour, we will do a global drawing for a spool Polymaker filament. Also, if you haven't smacked the like button, smack the like button. Let's see if we got, looks like 90 people here. Let's see if we can get up to like, I don't know, let's start with 75 likes. I believe we can do it. I believe. Cool. I liked it so hard. I appreciate it. Wish I had gloves. It just kind of sucks. There we go. It's been reamed. Oh shit, man. There we go. I'll be going for tonight. If you need any help, feel free to ping the design team on Discord. Cool. Thank you very much for hanging out. I appreciate it. We're gonna. The goal is to get this done and get the motor mounted. And like, there's not a whole ton left really for the Y-axis to get covered today. So I think we'll be, fingers crossed, good. But I appreciate everybody or anybody from the team that's been hanging out and providing feedback or just hanging out. Thank you for being here. Okay, I'm not actually going to preload the bolts like I just said because I'm confident after just reaming it that it's going to go right in. Okay. Will I eat my words? Nope, I went right in. Although, it still doesn't want to go into the extrusion. Why is that? Why is that? Don't understand what's going on with that. Let's see if the other one's gonna work. Do you have any other mills? I don't have any other mills, no. I have a Shipoko, and I have a Carbide Nomad, but not a mill. Yeah, these are not, okay. All right. So let's do one. First, I'm just gonna try to feed the screw into these holes without any printed part to make sure that there's nothing wrong with the threads. Are you still building with Mandic, or will you team up again? No, so because he's moving and also streams way more than I do, or is able to stream way more than I do, he's doing the build series on his own, because I'm assuming he'll get done way before me. And so the game plan is we'll come together at the end of this and do a final stream together. Okay, so this is just not threading all that well on its own. Is there... I imagine that the... Is this part not mirrored? I'm just realizing right now I don't see... Do you have one of those chamfer heads for your deburring tool? I don't. I don't, but it'd be nice to get. So I think I screwed up. I think I'm gonna have to remove this entire thing. Oh, yeah, tap it's probably a good idea. Is it worth running? It doesn't look like... It's got me so curious as to whether... I assumed... Man... I didn't see it called out, and so I just assumed that these ends were mirrored. I feel like usually on LDO printers, I feel like on LDO printers, they're usually just mirrored. So I'm gonna really quickly take this off. If it's not, I'm probably gonna run around and see if I can find my M5 tap, because that's gonna be way easier to tap two holes than to completely take this thing apart and basically redo most of what we've done today. If it's not mirrored, I definitely think it should be called out. It's not mirrored. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. There's threads on this side, so I have to tap it. Yeah, we gotta tap it. Well, that's unfortunate. Yeah, that's a bummer. That's definitely something that is a 50-50 coin flip, and I lost that coin flip. Yeah, it's definitely something that I don't know why they wouldn't have just tapped it. Usually on all, like, I mean, using Voron LDO kits as an example, usually they're all tapped everywhere. So you don't have to worry about it because each extrusion is tapped. The only thing you have to worry about is blind joint. So I was under the assumption that it was going to be the same way once I verified that it was the correct length. So let me see what I've got as far as taps go. That's a bummer. That is a definite bummer, and that makes sense as to why I'm glad that I decided to take that printed part off and take a closer look at it, because I was like, I don't see why it's not going in after I cleared the hole. So I think I have a tap set. Oh, I think I have a tap set. Definitely a bummer. Well, I just think that this is probably going to be easier to just quickly tap this than it is to undo what we've done, because the rails are positioned in the wrong spot if we don't do this. So this is an M4. So here's M5. I'm sad about that. I really am. Okay, let me see if I can quickly run down and figure out where in the heck the oil is for this, because I've always used the sort of CNC or tap fluid. So give me just a sec. I will be right back, hopefully. The issue is, since we moved, I don't know where the heck it would be. So I'll give it a go. I'll be right back. So I didn't find it, but I did find WD-40, which I'm wondering if would work as an acceptable alternative. I don't know. I know that the bottle was leaky, so I don't know where the heck I would have put it when we moved. But yeah, I sure don't see it in the garage. I'm curious as to what, if Millennium Machines is still in chat, what they think. Will WD-40 work for this? Yeah, it's not tapped on one end. That's the issue I'm running into. I thought that this was a mirrored extrusion, but it's not. The bottom holes down here have no threads. They've even used canola oil in a pinch. Huh. I've used WD-40 as tapped before, should work okay. I don't remember having to worry about that. You mean not having to worry about threads? Yeah, well, because it's an LDO kit, I was under the assumption that like all things would be tapped and threaded, because that's how it always has been on at least Voron kits. So I didn't even look at the end. I measured, you know, to make sure it was the right extrusion, and then just built based off that. So I'm thinking we probably just go for it. I mean, the worst that could happen is that if I do a stupid question, are we using the correct extrusion? I would think it's the right extrusion. Everything else seems correct on it, and it's the right length. It says, I think it was like a 307, what was it, 37? No, it was bigger than that. Oh, where is it? So 470 millimeters is what this is. And I don't think there's another 470 in the kit. Come on, ruler. Really? So I went end to end, and it's at, yeah, it's 470 millimeters exactly. Yeah, exactly. I don't think that there's much issue, because if this doesn't work, then we're kind of where we are now, right? So it's sort of, I think ideally I'd like to drill downwards, but in this case, I think I'm going to drill forward because of the rails. What I do want, which I did not grab, is just a clamp to clamp this in place. That way it's not moving all over. So, damn it, they're downstairs. Let me go around and grab a clamp real quick, and then we'll try to do this. I've done quite a few M5 threads, so I'm fairly confident we'll be good, but I've just usually used the machine oil and not WD-40, but I know I've heard of people using it. So, okay, I'll run back, grab that, we'll drill this, and hopefully we'll be moving forward. Okay, I found two clamps, a baby and a big one. This is a pretty quality. This is a pretty quality tap set. It was a gift from G Funny a couple years ago, and I've used it quite a few times. I'd use it on the Merc and a few other printer builds, so I feel quite confident in it from that standpoint. Let me put this towards the edge here. I don't know where my hand setup is, Phil. I haven't used it in a long time. Oops, I don't know what just happened. If for some reason the thread does not work, or this does not work, then we can always take it apart and just swap sides. So I don't feel that concerned about it, knowing that. So we'll see. You can use a hex bit screwdriver. Really? We're that against using this? Ah, man. I'm telling you, I've done it. I've done it quite a few times, but we can try. You saying literally just go with this? This is what we're thinking? Yeah, I've used power tools like 4 times before. Well, I got everybody yelling at me now. I'm like, man, I feel more comfortable using the power tool than a hand tool. But all right, if everybody, here we go. Let's just try it. I think power tool would have been fine. I'm just saying. How deep do we need to go, too? I tend to wind out every few turns to stop it from binding. Let me take a look at the thread really quick. Haven't we've actually drilled out on stream before too. We've definitely done power tool on stream. I personally like power tool for something like this. Hold on, I'm gonna remove all the chips. We're already in it. I'm already halfway through the first one, so we'll just do this. Yeah, I used, that's what it was. The ender wire, for all the extrusions I used it and it turned out great. Yeah, so I used it for Enderwire, I've used it for Merc, and I've used it for ANET, AMA, all of them. That might be enough for that one. I'm gonna say one last run. Yeah, one last run. Are we ahead of Alan? No, we screwed up. I didn't realize that, one second. I didn't realize that the threads were not on both sides of this extrusion until we got this far in. And to undo everything is, in my opinion, more work than just doing this by hand. I guess I was gonna use a power tool, but grease catches the shavings. Cool. Yeah, we should be good. That should be it. Okay. Yeah, we're good. Okay, one down, one to go. I'm gonna do the second one with a power tool. I'm gonna do it. I've done it plenty of times. We'll be all right. I'll take it slow. I'm not gonna go quick. We're gonna do it. It's actually the primary way I've done it. All right. Nope, wrong hole. All right, we're done. We're done. Piece of cake, man. I think the power tool is the superior way to go about it. This little Makita drill is awesome. Yeah, you don't want to full rev it, but that was way easier, and the thread looks clean. It looks good. So beautiful. Yeah. We good. All right. We are back at it. All right. So again, there's a bunch of ways to do the same thing. I forgot I'd done it once on stream before. I haven't done it a gajillion times, so it's still something that is a little bit nerve-wracking to me, but so far I'm counting my stars, but I've had every single time I've had a tap something that's been successful. So I'm sure I will. The next one will probably go horrifically wrong because I'm saying that, but I don't see anything wrong with doing it by hand. Clearly it works, but at least to show that both methods are fine. And I think the key thing is having a high quality bit. It only takes one bad tap to change your mind. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. Especially if it's on something where you're like, I don't have a spare. The quality of tap makes a huge difference. Once I got on Amazon, broke. The person uses nightmare to get out. Yeah, these are, I don't know. These I think were originally from Amazon. I didn't order them. They were a gift, but they've been solid. But yeah, it's certainly not like there's a lot of things I'm fine with. There's a lot of things that I'm fine with not like going with a cheaper version of, but on taps, I would very likely on taps I would not beep out. Okay. So we should be back in business. To avoid any of this, check the ends of your extrusions. I will be doing that on every extrusion moving forward for this build. Hey, Marty. All right. Once I get these 2 screws in, I'm going to clean up some of the metal shavings. Oh, I'm not, I am high. And not on drugs. It's the, yeah, you're right. Good call. Giveaways open too, so we'll do the drawing in maybe, we'll do the drawing in maybe like 7 minutes roughly. So if you have not filled out the form, do so if you want to enter in. And I get the satisfaction knowing you did at least one of the holes the right way. Whatever, man. Whatever. I've only used, this is the first time I've used a like screwdriver. Previously when I did it by hand, it was with the, you know, typical like twist, and it was tedious. It was tedious when I used that one. But yeah, hopefully you just, if you're building this, check your channel ends. Avoid having a tap altogether. It shouldn't have to tap. It was my fault. I mean, it's not LDO's fault. I made the assumption, which I will not do going forward for the rest of this build. Are you gonna do the marble thing for the giveaway like you did? I don't know what that is. So probably not. What's the marble thing? All right, that is in. Let me grab my trash so I can just use a napkin and brush these shavings off so they don't go onto the floor and into my foot. Sounds awful. Okay, I'm gonna grab one more napkin and a little bit of IPA just because I think that there could be some Loctite on this surface, and since I've got printed parts on it, I just don't want them sitting in it, even if it's on a lot of it. Let's see. All right. It was like a marble race, one for each entry. That's awesome. I think it was a Steam game. Oh, you need a Twitch account. Gotcha. I have a Twitch account. I don't use Twitch, but I do have a Twitch account. That sounds fun. A marble race. Yeah, I'd love to find another sort of like animation for the giveaway drawings. What's the giveaway for? I just popped in. I'm clueless. Spool of polymaker filament. Anywhere in the world. Okay, so we've done this. We've done this. Is that Aaron? No. Okay, Y rails are done. We did that. We did that. We did that. So this is where we are. Okay. This is where we are. Man, this thing's already getting freaking heavy. It's just one extrusion. So, pretty sure this is the right lead screw. This is 550 millimeters. Let's see, that's 500, so approximately right there. And yeah, 550, cool. Okay. And then we are using a rigid coupler. I think it says to use Loctite on these two, so I'm gonna pull. I don't know, normally I don't think you want these to bottom out on the red. So these are spider couplers. I've only used them a couple of times. I've used them on the Merc build, and I think they're standard on the, yeah, standard on the Rat Rig. But what I can't remember is, I know that if you have a rigid coupler, you don't want the top of the motor shaft and the lead screw touching. At least I give a, or maybe I'm thinking of flex. You definitely don't, because then it can't flex. But I can't remember on these if I want to bottom it out onto the red center or if I want to give it like a millimeter spacing. And in this instance, I feel like it's more important because of the driving force that's going to be required for this. Does anybody know? Part of me thinks maybe it does just sandwich up all the way to, because it's not touching the motor shaft. You have this red polymer spacer in between. I can't remember what, I'm pretty sure I looked this up before. You bottom out, okay. I'm thinking I'm probably gonna do the same. It's a really low friction polymer. Yeah, flexible, not touching, because it can't flex if there's two rigid ends touching each other. Okay, cool. I use a shim when I use those couplers. I'm gonna go without in this instance. I think it's fine because it's rigid. I know that whenever it's a flex one, then that's what it is. I usually use some kind of a shim. I think I have these little metal business cards that I usually just shove in on the flex ones to give them a gap, but I think this is okay. So, okay. Let's do this giveaway drawing, and then we'll do this after. So, if you're filling out the form, you've got approximately 60 seconds, and then I'm gonna pull the link, and then I'll give you another 60 seconds. So, 2 minute countdown. Hey, Liz. Happy Wednesday. Can't believe it is already almost June. This year is going by so quick. So from a build standpoint, the most difficult aspect of today was self-inflicted, which was the threads. Then I would say pushing those bearings in, but the easy way around that is just use the bearings and maybe file a hair. Excuse me. And then keeping track of your linear rails and the blocks in which direction you have them. It's easier if you're building this in one sequence. The fact that, I started this a week ago and then I've moved things around, it's definitely more difficult. I just made, no, nice. Aaron, normally, I haven't been doing as much coffees lately because I've been having like some stomach issues and just generally all around squirrel and coffee is scary. But I've been having cold brew but Erin made this one. She's been making these lately, which are kind of more of like a cold treat than true coffee. I mean, it is coffee brewed in here, just regular. I think it's regular coffee. But then she uses creamer and then like syrup drizzle with a bunch of ice, and it is yummy. So it gives me some caffeine, but I'm not sure what's giving me more energy, the caffeine in there or the sugar. Thanks for the win last week. I actually received my filament. Oh, that's kick ass. Wow. So that's cool. That's good to hear, because I know that they can take, I've heard everything from it's quick to it's slow. It depends on where in the world you are. I think you were in the States, which definitely helps with them getting you your filament quicker. Okay, so I am removing the form. We are going to remove and then unpin. So if you're filling it out, you've got 60 seconds, and then I will, that will be all. I will not reset the clock like Steve. You're either in or you're out. It's been I think 40 minutes, so. Does it contain a special ingredient? No. Did the manual call up threads on one side only? It did not. It did not. I am confident in saying that. We can look through it one more time just for funsies, in case there's a text block that I missed. Just really quickly look. Okay, XY gantry plate is not mirrored. Let's make sure the plate, this is all plate, plate, plate. Be safe, block it, protect your rail carriages. Bolts from the rear, nothing related to that. This is related, M3 heat insert sizes. This is M3 heat inserts, M3 heat inserts, M3 heat inserts. This is your backlash preload tuning, accessibility, redesign motor mounts. And so you're basically, this is where it has you grab it, like roughly right about here. And then it will be removed later. Yeah, there's no mention of check threads. I mean, in a way I get it, because this manual isn't LDO specific. And if you self-source, you will be tapping and threading these more than likely yourself. But a little asterisk saying, you know, if you got an LDO kit, I think the easiest solution would be if LDO just tapped them on both sides. They have the machine, you know, they have the ability to source them / do them, and that's what they typically do. So I think that would be the easiest solution, really. Okay, so let's go to me, and then I'm going to, we got 80 people in the giveaway, which makes it really simple for me to just copy and paste. Pull up wheel of names. Huh. It only says 79 entries, which means somebody got left out. I don't want to leave anybody out, so let's see. Ah, found you. Jan, GRYC, you got left out, so I'm manually putting you in here. There we go, 80 people. All right, we are ready to rock and roll. Feed it back to Jason, I'm sure he will address it. Yep. I think it was just missed in manufacturing. Yeah, I'll at least mention it, because it typically, I mean, with LDO, that's the standard. Like they tap and thread it all, so that way, you know, this doesn't happen. So I'll at least mention it. But it's very possible, like Steve's saying, that maybe just my kit in particular, it was missed. It could have been, I mean, it could have been a freak thing. All right, so for anyone new here, every week, Polymaker allows us to give away a spool of filament anywhere in the world, and they are awesome. We're actually using their filament on nope, not on that. That is not it. This build. So the end pieces are their Galaxy ABS, which is black with nice little silver sparkles, and then your accent pieces, which is over here, is their gold ABS. So they are awesome. Winner will be contacted by me within roughly 24 hours, and then you can either pick out a spool of filament or you'll get a gift card, which is dependent on where in the world you live. So we've already got people saying some numbers here. So how many times are we gonna shuffle today? Somebody send me info on the marble game. I'm curious, just 2 people mention it now. I do have Steam. Is the Galaxy ABS abrasive? Does it require a hardened steel nozzle? It does not. It is not abrasive. The Galaxy series in general uses like a really fine glitter. I think it's what Nick told me, and it's non-abrasive and also doesn't really clog, which is nice. One of the issues with glitters early on was that the glitters were too large, and it was causing clogging on a smaller nozzle. Okay, it's going to be a 6 or a 7. I don't know how to do 6.9, so we'll do 6 today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Good luck, everybody. In 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Cyberjack, you are this week's winner. Congratulations. I don't know that I remember that name winning before. Congratulations. I will send you an email probably this evening, and then you'll get a form that you'll need to fill out, and then Polymaker will either send you a gift card or a list of filaments to choose from. But congratulations. Thank you everybody for entering. Is Cyberjack in chat? You don't have to be present. You don't have to. We like when you're here when we do the giveaway, so that way we can do this, like you know. But I don't know if Cyberjack's here. Okay, let's get back to it. He was here earlier. Cool. Awesome. So let's wrap up the why. We're getting there. So I am going to take off these little screws. And I'm going to dip it, at least the end of it. Right. Okay, that should be snug. At least I can't pull it out. doesn't mean the machine can't rip it out. So we've got that. Let's take out the other one, and let's put some Loctite on this as well. What projects is everybody working on? It could be either printer builds or print projects. Curious, I feel like I haven't asked that in a while. All right, we got our big old stepper motor. As far as I can tell, all steppers that come in this kit are identical, so I don't think it matters which one you grab. I didn't see any unique markings. They all look like 1.8 degree. Here's the specifics, I guess, for anyone. The winner was Cyberjack. These are the motors. Hey, Nadir. Fluid. I could have guessed that, Pedro. I could have guessed that. And it sounds like some Trident mods as well, right? Hey, should I build a VZBot 235 or Micron Plus and some other 3D printers? My budget is 3K max. I just love printing fast. If you're going for speed, I would say VZBot 235 over Micron Plus. Other ones that might be worth looking at are the NX. Oops, I already tightened that one. The NXK3. There's a couple other projects that are smaller that I'm trying to think of that I follow, but I don't know their names that well. I think the Micron's a super cool printer, so I'm definitely not saying don't build a Micron, but if speed is your ultimate goal, I would definitely opt for VZ over that. What's the other ones? What's the other one that's like all-wheel drive that is made by VZ's buddy? They're definitely friends in the community. I can't think of what the heck it's called. Working on two, ooh, cool, clocks? What kind of clocks? Trident soon. Getting parts for 2.4, nice. Building a new Star Trek phaser and making custom, oh fun, PCB stuff. Carrera K3 Positron RR5, oh rat ray, I was trying to figure out what that was. I should be building a Milo 1.5, so I bought mine. Oh, Matter Hackers, and they thought I only get one. Oh no. That sucks, sorry to hear that. My train broke a toolhead wire and I've been having were you running cable chains? And if so, are you sticking with cable chains or are you swapping out of that? Working on combat robots as usual. Just had a comp this past weekend, so now I'm starting the process of redesigning everything, starting construction for the next event. How did the contest go? I'm working on a new toolhead for the SPO8 and just bought an SPO6 for the giveaway. Sick. What is your revisions for the SPO8 that you're trying to do or incorporate into the toolhead? K3 is not a budget-friendly build. Isn't the K3 what Fabrico has the kit for? Or am I thinking of K5? I thought K3 was a smaller one. My Trident is on installing electronics at the moment. Sweet. Oh, gotcha. You're saying it's stupid expensive for its size. Keyboard. That's it. Yeah. For some reason, I couldn't think of it. Keyboard. That's another one that would be really cool. Okay, sweet. I will check out the Marble game later. I'll start building my VZBot through next. I've had it for a couple months already, but not had the time to start it. It's a pretty involved build, especially with electronics on it. Galileo 2 upgrade on V0.2. Nice. I've heard great things about it. I have a Galileo 2 kit. I just have not made the jump yet, but I've heard really good things about it. A new word clock is one, and others will get a Tetris style. That sounds sick. The Tetris one I'm really interested in. I'm working on some Star Wars inspired lighting for my apartment. Awesome. K3 is 180 cubed. It's a cool printer though. I currently have cable chains. We'll see if they stick around. Any Trident mods you recommend? I think was it you that asked this or was it someone else? The main one that to me is a must-have is the reversed electronics bay. Not having to flip the printer over is just, I like it way more. So Aaron says bed fans. I haven't ran bed fans, but I know some people swear by them. I like the Annex panel clips better than the other ones that I've seen or used, the standard ones or the latch ones. I think the Annex panel clips are really nice. They require zero hardware and hold everything tight, but make it super easy to pop a panel off. Those are the main ones I've got, I think, right now. Okay. Continuing on. We did that. We just did that. So now we're gonna. So I don't know is the direction of the plug. Is it in the CAD? I don't think there's some electronics in the CAD. So it's gonna be. Wait, no, we're building. Downward seems like it would be right. It looks like there's clearance. There's definitely clearance on that. I think downward is the way we're gonna do it. I have two extruders ready for the same tool head, the stock extruder and the Galileo 2. Oh, nice. That's really cool. K3 style door. I still haven't done the, what's it called? The, what's the single panel door mod that came out that a lot of people have been doing for Voron? It's not the K3 style door. It's called, man, I can't think what it's called. Okay, so we're gonna go downwards with the connector. Yeah. So cable downward. I don't know if that's right, but that's what we're gonna do. Let me make sure, let me see if there's any instructions for this while I'm inserting this in here. From the back of the y-axis, insert the screw motor. Be sure to thread it through the y-axis back. Do not insert it through the bearing block yet, okay? Nope. Okay. Good luck matching your extrusion is why I would never do that door. Oh, you mean color? Good luck matching it color-wise? Yeah, fridge door, clicky clack is what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm just manually feeding this and trying not to bend it. Doesn't feel centered, which is odd to me, considering it's tight. It's probably just because of the sheer length of this thing, though. Okay, so I have not clicky clack doors. Yep, that's it. Clicky clack's what I'm thinking of. Okay. So I have not passed into here. And I think the reasoning for that is we need to adding a locking collar and leaving it loose. Okay, so we're gonna use these guys. These little locking collars. So I'm gonna slide one onto the lead screw. Let me go up a little bit. Try to get as straight as you can, but a little bit of bend isn't bad. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you're, so I think it's gonna be okay. Something tells me it might be related to just the brass heat inserts. I don't know. We'll see. It could be how I installed them slightly off, or it could just be something else. So, okay, that slides on. So we've got one of those on. Now I think we can push this all the way through. Hopefully. Yeah. Okay. Why are we not able to go further? I think, oh, I was gonna say, I think Alan had, there we go. Okay. It requires a little bit of force. I remember, I think this is around the time I came into Alan's stream and saw that he had to use a fair bit of force to get this through. So it's sticking out the, you guys can't see that. I got it through, but I need to push it through more. Oh, okay. Should I be able to turn it by hand right now? Because I can't. Holy crap. Whew. The inner diameter of the bearing is really close to the major diameter of the TR8 screws. Yeah, even with two hands right now, I cannot spin this. One of the bearings is probably not quite straight. Fantastic. Yeah, that is not... I don't think it's the bearings. I think it's... the nuts. Yeah, that is not... Yeah, it's not going anywhere. Oops, let's not lose balls. This thing tells you I'm gonna have to take this off and play around with it a bit. because it's just too tight. Yeah, there's no way. Okay, well, I'm probably gonna have to take, I would think like a mallet to this. How tight are the lead screw nuts? Fairly tight. I could try to loosen. It's gonna be a pain to access, but I can try to loosen the screws on the lead screw nuts. Let's not lose, yeah. I don't know which side was my fully seated side and which side was my not fully seated side. Let me see if I loosen these a bit. No. I mean, if this thing's gonna have to come off anyway, then it doesn't really matter if I screw on or not. A long screwdriver, yeah. Oh shit. So the one side that's not the adjusting side, how tight is that side supposed to be? Should it be, I think I mentioned while I was doing it, I didn't ugga-dugga it like too hard, but I still wonder if maybe I just had it a little bit too tight as well. Okay, we're moving. So we are moving. I mean, not well, right? But like I can move it a little bit now. Is it possible that I just had this too tight? Millennium mentioned too that it looked a little bit tight. So is it possible, should I just be loosening these at like half turn or quarter turn? I mean, that's definitely getting better. I don't feel any backlash. So maybe I just had these nuts overkill. It's hard to know, like, there's not really a unit of measure or a metric to go based off of. Like, you know, someone says tight, how tight? Like, that means different things to different people. So I think that I may have just overdone it on these nuts. I'd loosen the lead screw nut and see how it moves, and you might need to tweak the lead screw nut now to be more in line with the lead screw before adjusting tension. Yeah, I mean, we're moving now, so if I don't feel any backlash, like I definitely cannot, like there's no microscopic play in this. Oh, very small adjustments. Okay, so maybe I'm adjusting it too much. So I'm doing probably half turns and quarter turns. But I mean, at least it's spinning now, right? So that's good. It's clearly done something, because there's no way it was not moving at all, even with way more strength than I'm applying now. So let me see how this side is now. Yeah, now it's much tighter. I loosen the lead screw nut and see how it moves. You're saying loosen it? You think loosen it completely? Just for now. I need a I need a long driver for this, man. I'm over here fishing. This is clearly why they. Let me just. I'm gonna loosen this the whole, like, these are, now it's loose on this side. Still pretty tight. So this side seems to be the primary one that's affecting it. So if I loosen up this guy, I loosen up this guy. Yeah, now we're moving. I mean, we're moving now, so I don't know. The thing is, I don't know how easy or difficult this should be to move. So with one hand's quite difficult. I mean, again, I'm turning a lead screw, so it's not really the easiest thing to grip onto. With both hands, I would say it's not that bad to move now, which makes me think that's probably fine. So I'm just gonna try to start tightening things up. So I'm gonna clamp them down first, and I'm gonna start backing off. It's really the only idea I have right now. So this is fully tight, which is not what we're gonna want. Cyberjack says he thinks you got a work call. Oh, sweet. Yeah, thank you for letting me know. Absolutely. I will reach out to him. Later this evening. Thanks for letting me know. Guess I joined at the end of the stream. We've been live for, I think, 3 hours. Okay. So now they're completely seated. There's zero movement, which is what I'm expecting. Okay. So now I'm going to turn this. I'm going to do a half turn for now. Just till we get some movement, half turn, and then I'll go the other direction. Okay, half turn on that side. Nothing's happening, still tough. Half turn. Approximately half turn. One side should be tight. Yeah, that's what I saw. That should be fine. Remember, your motor should be able to apply much more torque in line with the center of the rotation of the screw than your hands. Yeah, it definitely was not right before, but now that I can at least move it, I am, because of how hard I tighten these though, I am going to just a tiny bit of relief on this side. Okay. Yeah, ultimately, I guess once this thing's powered on, if I see motors binding, I know that, hey, my motion's not aligned, or, you know, something's off. So we'll leave it like that for now. It does look like I pushed a little bit too far that way, because I don't have a mallet in here either, so I'm gonna press the lead screw. There we go. So before I tighten this down, I just want to bring these together. But at the same time, the more torque needed to move the axis, the easier it'll be to skip steps. Get this in line. The more torque needed to move the axis, the easier in line and skip steps. I mean, it's moving, I can move it by hand now. So it's like, I don't know, like, to me, I don't know how to gauge whether that's good enough or not. That's my thing. Like, I don't have a metric to know. Before I couldn't move it by hand, but now, yeah, it's tight. It's definitely tight. But I can move it with my hands on the lead screw. So it's like, is that good enough? I don't know. Yeah, I wish I had. So thing to bop this in place. Let me see if I just use this to press. There we go. Okay. I'll probably, Steve, I'll likely between now and next, I'll likely between now and next stream, play around with this a little bit more to see if I can find like the sweet spot. The sweet spot, but it's an improvement over what it was, that's for sure. I had it too tight, clearly. I definitely had it too tight. Okay. Let's lock this motor on. We're gonna use M5x30s. M530s. Maybe I didn't take out M530s. M530s. M5.8s, M5.10s. M520s. I'm pretty sure I took them out already. What are these? M522s. Where are they? Did they fall? There's been a lot of chaos today, so it's possible that they fell. Where would you have gone? M530s. These are button head. Nope, these are socket heads. M530s, cool. I'm gonna put a little bit of, so I think these are the last couple screws. I'm gonna feed a little bit of Loctite on the threads on the back side, so that way it doesn't have to go through the printed part. And these are brass heat inserts. We'll just go like this. At least on the two that I can. I just realized I won't even be able to access the others. Yeah, I guess I'm only gonna do Loctite on those two. I don't want to put them on the bolt since it's passing through the printed part. Almost losing our balls again. Okay. Screwdriver. Nope. Bigger driver. Maybe the biggest driver? Nope, not the biggest driver. Okay. tightening the motor down like so. Okay. Let's see if I can move it still. Yes, I can. Yeah, I think I leave it like this for now, actually. Let's see, so it's fasten the y-axis. Yes, we did that. Adding the last collet, the operating. Using your fingers, press each locking collar into each other and drive them into the, driving them into the face of each bearing with moderate to high pressure. Tighten the operator's side before tightening the internal side. This will ensure the screw remains in the same position during use. Hey Adam, it's going pretty good. Most of the only real issue we ran into was one of the sides of the extrusion didn't have threads, and we'd already gotten so far that the idea of loosening everything, I mean, it would have been a big setback. So it was easier to tap the other side to have threads, so we did that. I think that's really the main thing that's been a hiccup. It seems like I had my brass nuts too tight, preloaded. I couldn't move it by hand. Now I can move it by hand. It's also hard for me to know whether this is the adequate amount that it should be taking to move it by hand versus it should be smoother. I don't know. I don't have another comparison. So, hey Fabrico, sorry I lost track of today with kid stuff, but I am here. You are just on time. No, we're getting closer to the end, but we're gonna do a few more things here. So we put this collet here, this lock ring. So we're gonna place the other one here, and these ones are gonna get Loctite. So let me loosen these screws. How's your day been going though, Fabrico and Adam? Both of you, how's your day going? Okay, taking this out. One more day and all sanity is gone with, oh man, today's the last day before summer break. Good luck. The CNC build is looking good. Yeah, it's gonna be heavy. Considering this is just one motor and one extrusion, I'm like, holy cow, it's already getting really tanky. So when it does come time to move this thing like downstairs, when we're done with it, it's gonna be a team lift, that's for sure. Rico, thank you very much for the 5 gifted memberships, man. Cheers. Let's do, we've been streaming for a while. It's definitely,
I wonder what's for dinner.
I wonder what's for dinner. Feels right. Do you guys have graduations then coming up? Because I would think that, it's graduation time as well, or unless that already happened. I don't really know how that all works. Okay, it says to apply pressure, so we are going to pinch these 2 rings together. It says start with tightening the outside one, which it calls the operator one. I'm just gonna tighten that like that, and then tighten this one. I'm gonna use an Allen key in a second here to get a little bit more dugga. I got the notification membership. Thank you, Rico. I thought it was a scam. Not a scam. Hey, LSE. It has been a while. How are you doing? We have one more day for kids, 2 more for the wife, and high schoolers had graduation last week. Okay, so the graduation already happened for that. Mine is already out. I came from work to open a door and immediately met with oh man. Jackson's not quite there yet. Although when he yells at me now, I'm like, I know you know what you're saying. Like, I know there's whatever you're saying, like you clearly know, you just don't know how to, I don't understand you. Okay, so that in itself adds tension to this whole motion. The pressure of those things pinching on the bearings added some resistance. I mean, I can still My hands are slippery, but I can still move it. The thing I'm kind of curious about is add some medium take. Oh, we did that to avoid the Y. We're not doing that yet. And then drag chain, we can mount that on, I suppose. Why not? It wants us to use a, what is this? M512, and it's going towards the motor side. Oh, it's an M512? That means I need a T-nut. Oh, I took out the M3 T-nuts. I sent you a link. I sent you a link for a mod to double the space of the Sunlit S4. Wait, when did you send me that link? I have not seen it. And where did you send? Like, yeah, on Discord. Okay, so this is dropping in here. For right now, I don't think this has to be. Oops, I don't think this has to be exact. Oh shit! Dang it! I should have listened to Phil when it came to taping these in place. They're just so. They're so loose. Hopefully after next stream, we won't have to worry about these guys falling out anymore. So the carriages fell out again. I mean, not the carriages, but like the dummy rails, or what fell out. Okay, so we got you, and this is going to be. Oh, no, I definitely haven't seen it then if it was today, and it was Discord. Nope. This has been me. I've been here pretty much all day. Woke up, got dressed. Did I shower? I don't think I showered. And then I came up here and been prepping for stream and then streaming. So now I will take a look though later on. Okay, so for now, this can just go through here, and should be able to move this later. So I don't know exactly how far on this rail it's supposed to go, but we'll just move it, I don't know, approximately. It looks like it kind of is aligned with this, so we'll go here. Told you so. Yeah, once you have it on, adding a little bit of tape is not a bad idea for this. Okay. Fasten one end to the chain, which is going to be, yep, there we go. So this end with the little nubs, I don't know what you call these, little posts sticking out like this. This is going to be a 2. Yep. Fabrico driver time. Oops. Well, putting a zip tie around each end hold enough to prevent it from dropping out. Putting a zip tie around each end. There's nowhere to put a zip tie. Unless you mean like loop around the entire... that could work. So if you're saying take a zip tie and wrap it around here, like basically just zip tie around both ends, then that could possibly work. That could possibly work. Yeah, just around the holder. Yeah, that could work. I smell like a campfire. I was involuntarily signed up for barbecue for the wife's... Oh, nice. What'd you make? We were talking... Man, you missed it earlier. We were talking grills earlier. It's like hamburgers and hot dogs, and probably for kids, it sounds about. What firmware does Milo use? It's RepRap firmware, and I think you can either use just vanilla RepRap firmware, or they have Milo OS, which is still RepRap firmware, but with a bunch of, I think, like macros and some other stuff in there. But it's RepRap firmware, which will be fun. I didn't use Loctite on the cable chains, but I feel like that's fine. These are cable chains. It will compress the dummies and they will fall out. You're saying if you use zip ties? I guess it depends on how tight you use the zip ties, but you'd probably want it fairly tight for it not to slide. And yeah, it could be, I don't know. It's probably not the best. Hot dogs and burgers, yum. God, I'm hungry, dude. Sounds freaking good. Sounds really yummy. Let's see. Fasten the other end link. So it looks like the other end link is on the bottom side of this guy. Is it right here? Yeah, it is. Did I print out the wrong one, or are you only supposed to use 2 of the... I guess it just doesn't have the space. Okay, so this... I'm just going to lean it over the edge because I don't want to flip this right now. But... let's see. Dropping you guys down, bringing you guys up. There is... right here. There are two holes, not 3, so we're only using 2 screws on this one. Pineapple. Pineapple. I am not a pineapple. So hot dogs, I like, if we're doing just standard hot dogs, then I like mayo. Nope, that's not even right. Maybe a little bit of mayo, but mustard, ketchup, chopped onion, relish. That's basically it for me. However, my favorite types of hot dogs are Chicago dogs with the like garlic salt powder and the sports peppers. Ooh, when I worked at the Chicago sports bar, I used to get their 2 Chicago dog combo a lot for lunch, and it was, I miss it. I really miss it. I need a Chicago dog. Yeah, so this just uses 2 of the 3 holes, which is probably fine. It is, again, just a cable chain. I don't understand who started the rumor that pineapple is some sort of condiment. I'm a big pineapple on pizza person, but it doesn't mean, like, that's really it. I don't really do pineapple on anything else. I like dried pineapple. I haven't had that in a long time. Dried pineapple is delicious. Okay, that's probably enough ugga for a cable chain. Okay. Sweet. I'm not going to attach, let's see. I'm not going to attach the actual cable chain right now. I don't see any point in that. And that's the y-axis! We did it! The one thing I'm curious about is attaching the knob. So I printed out Steve's version of these knobs. Let me quickly here see if I can find the GitHub repository. Oh. Okay, I could see a pineapple and like a Mai Tai. I could see that. That'd be yummy. All right, so if I go really quickly, just gonna check in Steve's repo. And where is Steve's repo? Where is Steve's repo? Here it is. Okay. Steve did the hand wheel, so I printed out Steve's hand wheel. This is an alternative hand wheel that might work on, there are 2 basic options. I did the printer, the additional option, hand wheel without a knob. For the metal hub, hardware required. The printed hub appears to work just fine for the fraction of the cost. So we need hand wheel knob, install tool. Install tool clamps the hand wheel and put it together. I feel like I might need to look at a different image of this or ask Steve. I also don't know if I printed the other part of this. The main reason why I want to put this on is so that I can see how well it does or does not turn once I have this. Because it's like, yeah, it's tough, it's tricky, super tricky still to turn this by hand. I mean, I can do it, right? Like it's moving. But I feel like if I had the knob and I had this, it'd be way easier for me to spin this thing. So I'm probably going to get this installed between now and, well, the next day. I'm probably gonna get this installed tonight, actually. I'm probably gonna hit up Steve and be like, hey, Steve. And that will kind of be my gauge as to whether I need to adjust things more. So install tool, what is the install tool for? Okay, I definitely did print that out. Let's see. Oh. Let's see. Where is that part? There it is. Okay, so I found the install tool. I definitely printed that out. And then install tool to printed. Okay, I printed that out as well, so I've got that. Hand wheel, I've got hand wheel knob. Anti-acorn slapper, what is that? Okay, I know I printed that out too, so that's gotta be. Okay, found it. Steve, how does this assemble? All right, so I've got, it looks like I've got this piece, I've got this piece, definitely got that piece, and I've got the main hand wheel. So I think that's everything. I think that's, wait, what's this? What is this? Oh yeah, that's the derp, that's the thing itself. Hardware required. I just feel like I need a visual. So no acorn slapping version. No acorn slapping. So this is what I've got. Oops, holy cow. Technical difficulties. Oh my god. This is what happens when we get this far into the stream. Usually I posted before to that, get the full message. Okay, all right. Let me see what, let's see what Steve. Oh man, the camera just called it quits, dude. Here we go. This is an alternative hand wheel that might work on any 8mm. So there are two basic options, metal or printed. The additional option is a hand wheel without the knob. The metal hub, the only one I found. Okay. The printed hub appears to work just fine. The install tool. Install tool clamps the hand wheel and printed hub together with an M5 bolt through center. All right, so let's see if we've got all of these things. Is this the heat insert? Is it Voron spec or is this a Milo spec? Because I think they're different outer diameter. I think I'm just gonna finish this. I'm gonna probably just do this off stream. I've got a meeting in like half an hour, and I'm gonna eat some food before the meeting. Otherwise, I'm gonna be crazy. So we'll look at this hand wheel at the start of next week's stream, just so that way I can show it installed and basically explain what I did to get it installed. I do have plenty. I know I have Voron spec heat inserts somewhere around here. Yeah, I see them on the ground actually. So, yeah. Oh no. Oh, ribs sounds good. I haven't had ribs in a while. So let's take one more look at what we have accomplished today. That's not at all what I wanted to show. I wanted to go the side view, the view we're already on. I just want to zoom out a little bit. Okay. All right. So let's not lose our balls. I'm just gonna basically leave it to the side like this, but our Y is done. Our Y is completed. So we got linear rails on. We got all of our Y linear bearings mounted and secured. We tapped our extrusion because I made a whoopsie. And we got our bearing stack installed. We got our retaining rings installed. We've adjusted our backlash nuts a bit, which made a huge difference. And we've got our motor mounted into our coupler and our lead screw all the way through. So the only really thing I plan on doing before next week's stream is getting this hand wheel on here and playing around with that a little bit to see how tight things are or are not, and seeing if I need to adjust anything. I think that the linear rails are good. The way I did them, I don't see how they couldn't be. The nut, anti-backlash nuts are, I think, where most of my issue is lying, and it could be that I didn't install the heat inserts perfectly straight. It could be that just I need to loosen them anymore, a little bit more, or it could be it's totally fine and I just don't have a gauge on how difficult or how easy it should be to turn these by hand. So given the size of this thing, I feel like it's probably okay, the fact that I can turn it like this and I don't feel binding, but I just don't know. I just don't know. So we'll see. But next week we are going to continue, and we're going to be moving on to the x-axis, which will be exciting. So I will try to do some prep. I think the main things I'll try to prep out are heat inserts will be done because it just takes a long time, especially since there's multiple sizes and me having to swap the tips on them. So I'll do that. And then I'll basically get all hardware out and ready for us. So game plan is we're doing all of X. Game plan is we're doing all of X next week. So that's what we're gonna aim for. So, all right. Well, we made a lot more progress this week than we did on last week's stream. A few difficulties, but really the thread one could have been avoided had I just checked. And I'll reach out to Jason and let him know and see if that's a manufacturer, like if it was just a manufacturing fluke, or if they're just not tapping both sides. And if they're not, I feel like Jason could implement that feedback and just say, hey, start tapping both sides. So we'll see. But overall, solid stream. This thing is coming along little by little, and it might be just one axis, but boy, it's already starting to get heavy. So I'm imagining after next week when we've got the bed on, or the table on, just the amount of weight that it's going to add to this. So it's definitely a hefty unit, which is what we want. So yeah, thank you everybody for hanging out, for the sort of teamwork. There's quite a few things that I think got through together. There was definitely some useful tips when it came to assembling the bearing stack. Pushing down was much easier. And I think that's it. Thank you to the Millennium team for hanging out. I know there was like 3 different people here in chat, which was awesome. I really appreciate it. I will post next week's time frame when we go live, so that way if you're able to hang out, we'd love to have you. And thank you to new members, existing members, all of the gifted members. It definitely helps out a lot. It's always appreciated. So I want to make sure I am saying thank you. And then thank you to Polymaker for allowing us to give away our spool of filament. And yeah, I think that's it for today. I hope everybody has a wonderful day and eats lots of yummy foods. And until I see everyone next time, peace guys, take care, bye.